Thank you for joining us tonight on DAX Machina. Follow DA on social media and check out all of his work at daroberts.net. Good night, and don't... Thank you for joining us tonight on DAX Machina. Follow DA on social media and check out all of his work at daroberts.net.
I keep playing the wrong stupid video. Heck with it. You guys know what it is. daroberts.net. Well, I will eventually figure out which is the right video.
It's D.A. Roberts and the other people that hang around and make funny jokes at his expense.
We need to change the background image in the outro so I can tell which ones they are.
Well, I set it up so the intro's on the inside and the outro's on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
in, out. Makes sense.
Well, you trusted the thought that I would get it right, and obviously I did not.
It's all right.
I love it.
I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight on DAX Machina. Once again, we're off to a banging start, messing stuff up left and right. But it wouldn't be a DA show if I wasn't messing something up. Appreciate you guys joining us. We're going to have a great time tonight. Joining me tonight is Naomi Finn from the Dixie Cryptid and What If It's True podcasts. I've got my usual partner in crime, Steve Wildman Monrodis, over here in the lower corner. And directly beneath me is Josh Jones from All Tower Media and the State of the Nerd podcast. So thank you guys for joining us. Guys, appreciate you guys being here.
We're already getting some participation from the crowd here. Looks like we got a hello from Smedley Do-Right. Good evening from Bill Sloan. Hi, hey everyone from South Pasos. And an anonymous Facebook user says hola.
Well, I think we know who that is.
That's probably Patty.
Probably Patty.
Hi, Patty.
You guys doing good tonight? I know Josh is kind of feeling a little under the weather, but
I'm all right. I'm doing okay. It just feels like I've been up for 24 hours, and I've only been up for less than 12.
Well, that's why I have coffee.
I may be getting some soon. I got to crack open the new Black Rifle.
There you go. Yeah, you know you're really needing coffee when you hook it straight to the vein on an IV pole.
Yeah.
Isn't that how everybody takes their coffee?
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I practice my IV skills. I don't know about anybody else. So.
Getting some coffee.
That's how I practiced my heroin addiction. No. I was only kidding. Bad me.
Lord.
Yeah, I know. I'm bad. I shouldn't have said that. We do not know who Facebook user is.
But it follows it up
but
with
then it says,
"Hola, primos."
Yeah.
That's a pretty good bet.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Patty, thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We're going to have a really good conversation tonight. We're going to talk about, not only we're going to talk in depth about the incident that basically killed the town of Port Chatham and Port Locke, Alaska. We're also going to discuss sightings in Alaska and the Alaskan Triangle. So it's kind of an all Alaska show tonight. They have a wide variety of cryptids up there, but their particular brand of Sasquatch seems to be really, really nasty.
Sounded like you said Alaskan sausage.
Alaskan sausage.
A really, really nasty sausage.
It's probably deer or moose or something. Then
Wendigo
sausage.
That's when you get the spicy for your morning burritos.
There you go.
So, what about that then?
Yeah.
Well, Port Chatham was a thriving city, and we've talked about this a little bit the other night when we kind of did a who's who list of major engagements. But back in the 1940s, it was a booming town. There were plenty of fish off the coast. They had a good fishing fields, fish primarily for salmon, but other sea fish as well. And they had a cannery that they built at Port Chatham. And then people started disappearing. When they first started going in there, the local natives told them that's a bad place. It's bad juju. Don't go in there. And it's a pretty remote spot, but it has a good harbor. So they didn't listen to the natives, and they built anyway. Initially, it was like loggers that would go out to cut wood for the town would disappear. One logger was killed with a piece of logging equipment that was too heavy for a human to lift. He'd been bludgeoned to death with it. There were other people that just disappeared in the woods, never to be seen again. Then others would find pieces of them washing up into the streams or even out into the bay. They'd find an arm, a leg, a head. People were washing back down the streams and rivers, just completely dismembered. And then the locals started reporting hearing things coming into town at night. People would reporting that something was trying to get into their house. They would see big, hairy shadows passing between buildings. So the cannery workers got pretty scared, and they told the owners of the cannery, "We're not working until you get rid of this. We can't have, we're not safe." So they brought in professional hunters who went into the woods behind the town, and nobody ever saw those guys again. So people started leaving in droves, and by the late 1940s, it was a ghost town. You can go to that area today and still see remnants of the old cannery. There's some structures that are still mostly standing, but for the most part, that entire area has been reclaimed by wilderness. You can still find the occasional partially collapsed house or still standing structure in among the trees, but it got completely abandoned. Even the post office was abandoned, and that was all because of attacks by what everybody reported as a Sasquatch type creature, which directly correlates to Bigfoot attacks. Now, obviously, they didn't want them there. One of the weirdest things that you can still see at Port Chatham today is, and this is also a sign of territorial behavior amongst Bigfoot, is if you coast along the shore, several places on the shore, you can find trees that are about the diameter of a telephone pole that have been snapped off, ripped out of the ground, and driven back into the ground with the root wad sticking up. And that's believed to be a territorial marker for Bigfoot.
Well, I would say that anything that can tear up an entire tree and replant it inverted, he can have whatever territory he wants.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you won't find me arguing with that.
Let me see if I can find that picture.
I go, look at that. Looks like I don't belong here. Time to go.
Yeah, hey, look at the time.
While he's looking that up, Steve, I actually finally had a chance to finish the Steve Lilly story that DA wrote. And I don't know why, but when we got to I haven't read Wild Hunt yet, none of it. So when we got to Pub and Grub, I was like, God damn it, Steve needs to open this place. I want a Guinness and some shepherd's pie so damn bad.
Well, that's his wife Rachel's shepherd's pie. It's fantastic.
It needs to be opened. You guys need to do the thing.
No, we've been talking about it. I think that part of the joke was that if there was ever the Netflix deal, we keep on semi-joking about that we would use a little bit of seed money to open that place up.
That would be awesome. Put all the goofy crap on the walls.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That is an uprooted tree that has been driven back in the ground with the roots sticking out. You can still see the dirt up into the root wad.
Yeah, he can have that piece of territory.
That
pine tree in the background is all his.
I can see leaf written all over that tree.
Yeah.
I won't even put my diabetic urine on that tree. I'll just walk away.
Is that the equivalent of the keep off the grass sign? Is just keep the F out of my territory?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, you park your car and go for a hike and come back and one of those is driven through the hood of your car. Probably a pretty good indicator. You need to call the auto club and get the hell out of there.
I believe I'm not welcome. OnStar, I need an airstrike.
That's when they go, you're where? GPS. You know what? We're good. Sorry. Can't hear you anymore. Bye.
Yeah, OnStar's got a feature for calling it an A10, right?
It's the oh shit button.
Yeah, there's a poop emoji button.
Patty says she's never had shepherd's pie.
Oh, she's missing out. Shepherd's pie is the best.
It is so good.
Yeah, it's a good setup, especially if you do the real deal where it's actually lamb meat in it, ground lamb.
Yeah.
A lot of places will try to substitute beef, and it's just not the same.
That's cattleman's pie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For a quick fix at home, it's not terrible if you don't have the lamb, but yeah, you really want the lamb.
Yeah, it's much better with it. I was trying to find some more of the Port Chatham pictures, but I apparently didn't save as many of them as I thought. My apologies. Either that or they got moved to a folder and now I can't find them, which is also likely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just telling DA I was trying to put some things together earlier or yesterday. I couldn't remember, and I saved the same type of objects about 12 different places in my computer. So I'll go look for an image in the pictures folder, then the downloads folder, then the documents folder. They're kind of spread out all over. Can't ever remember where they're at.
Oh, there you go. The Do Up Knowles Way said in the UK they call that with mincemeat they call it a cottage pie. Yeah, and yeah.
This was Port Chatham in its heyday. That's the cannery, the big building. So it was a booming town at one point.
Yeah, it's a good size
You can
building.
see settlements all the way down the shore. And they just practically overnight abandoned every bit of it. Grabbed what they could carry and left.
Except for the poor postmaster. He had to hang out until the post office closed it officially.
Yep, poor guy.
Yeah.
Mm.
That had to suck.
So where did they stick the inverted tree on that poor man?
Right through his letter.
He got mailed partial post. Partial.
They stamped him out.
Yup.
Yeah. Oh, God. Took it
Oh,
right
come on, you
mailbox.
were thinking it.
I'm always thinking it.
We're terrible.
Though, whenever you do go to write that, you could possibly always use that as the POV character too.
The postman.
The postman, since he was the last one there, depending on what time period you put it in, or it's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay, good.
Nobody died.
Is everyone okay? I'm a little tired, angry, and bitter today. I've been working some extra hours, while teaching, first of all, but then trying to get some stuff done for this board certification that I have to renew every 5 years. And of course, I waited until the last 2 months to start working on it. So we're doing that. And then I guess last night, due to a staffing emergency, I ended up working the last 4 hours of my shift in the emergency room.
Oh.
Those are some crazy fools that work down there. God bless them for what they do.
Yeah, a little insanity keeps your mind together.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
It's a fun world right now.
It is. So do you have any really cool stories, individual stories about Fort Chatham?
Yes, actually, I've got a few. This is a picture that I've got up there. I know it's small, but that's some of the leftover mechanical pieces from the cannery that are actually still there. Quite a bit of machinery still there. You can find big electric motors and stuff like that.
Randomly laying in the road?
Well, that wasn't in a road. That was like on the shore.
Randomly laying on the shore?
Yeah, there's no roads.
Well, it looks like Bigfoot had angry sex with the factory too.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah, went in and just started chucking stuff.
Yeah, because that almost looked like a railroad wheel. Like
almost
a wheel off a train car.
Sal asked what's with the bouncing squares on the screen. That's just a theme for the it's just like an overlay. And Smedley asked, Port Chatham have aggressive bears? Well, not so much bears from what's believed. I mean, they have bears, but that's not what we think drove the people out.
Right. Well, the people even survivors that, years later that fled the town, described the hairy man. They said he was on two legs, covered in hair, was ripping people apart that went out into the woods. It was pretty nasty. In fact, there was one guy here, I think this one was in the late 90s, early 2000s, decided to go fishing off of Port Chatham, and he anchored his boat just off Port Chatham. And during the night while he was asleep, he had a dog with him. The dog went crazy, started barking like crazy, and he got up, and a Bigfoot creature had climbed onto his boat, killed the dog, and all but killed him. He finally fought it off, got a couple rounds off. It dove in the water and swam off, and he headed back for the nearest town and died once he got there.
Wow.
He lived long enough to relay the story of what had happened to him, and I guess it tore him up pretty bad.
Okay, so don't think I'm safe if I go there and hang out in the boat.
Probably not.
Yeah. Don't miss the Sasquatch. Got it.
Yeah.
Better bring some Jack.
Don't go there.
Jack Link's jerky.
That's right.
Yeah. Or yellow roses.
Yellow roses. There you go.
Oh, Lord.
I'm sure that'll do the trick.
We just need to bring Thomas with us and just use him as kind of the Operation Human Shield.
Yeah.
While he's wowing the Sasquatch with some Barry White music, we go in the other direction.
Well, you guys already know you can automatically outrun me. I'm not running anywhere.
Yeah.
DA, I told you, your trick is just shoot the fastest person in the knee.
Yeah.
Then there ain't going nowhere.
There are stories coming out of that area even now.
Wow.
There, a couple of years ago, I read this account somewhere. I can't remember. It was one of the Alaskan cryptid websites. But anyway, there was a road crew at the far end of that peninsula. They weren't even out on I think that's part of the Kenai Peninsula. They weren't even out there. They were near the edge of it, and they were putting in power lines along the road. And one of the Native Americans that worked on the crew kept telling these guys, "Don't go in those woods and try to hunt while we're out here," because they were out there for quite a while. And a couple of the guys blew them off and went into the woods and were never heard from again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, haven't they seen the movies? When you don't listen to the sage advice of the First Nations person, you're going to die.
More than likely, yeah.
Indigenous people tend to know the things that will eat you.
That's a fact.
And they're still here.
Mm-hmm. They've been here. They even survived us.
Right?
Which took some doing, apparently.
Yeah. When you can survive stupid white people and smallpox, you've got some staying power.
Meg's listening to us from work. Good to see you here, Meg. Yeah.
Hey, Josh, the bot got after Meg. I don't really mind the caps thing. Do you know how to shut that off?
You got to do it in the.
Okay. Well, Meg, ignore the bot. I'll fix that later. I don't mind the caps thing. I don't know how that got turned on. Probably me playing around with something.
No, it's on by default because most people on the internet view caps as yelling, but some people do it naturally.
Hi, Jesse. Thank you for the like.
I'll see if I can't get it fixed.
Okay.
Well, I suspect that Samuel L. Jackson would probably type in all caps.
More than likely.
It's like,
he would type a prayer to God in all caps.
He's like, I'm not yelling. That's the way I type.
Actually, if we remember correctly, I can't access the settings. That was the one thing I couldn't get into.
All right, I'll fix it after the stream.
It's a toggle switch in the thing.
All right, we'll deal with it later. I was looking for more pictures from Port Chatham, but I'm not really finding any good ones.
Meg's apologizing, saying she's not yelling at us.
We know you're fine. It's just the bot. We'll take care of the bot later. We'll rough the bot up a little bit, slap it around, tell it how things work.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
We'll just come home with like a little bonsai tree, rip it out, and turn it upside down.
There we go. Clean
Wreck
up
the bot
territory.
with it.
What's really frustrating is I can only see half of the statement. If it's a short thing, like I emailed you, DA, from Bigfoot and on, I can see it. But once it gets over so far on the statement, I can't see anything.
You can actually drag the little boundary between the two over.
Okay.
It makes our
there we go. Now I got
screen a little smaller.
Actually, it just covered us. But that's okay. I don't need to see you and me.
Oh, it covers you? Mine moves the videos.
Mine didn't.
What browser are you using?
Chrome.
Oh, so am I. Weird.
Yeah. But now I can even see the time it came in and everything.
Oh, there you go.
So I just can only see half of us. But I'm good with that.
Yeah. You don't need to see us.
No. Well, I can see you and DA. It's me and Steve are partially covered.
That's all right. I'm too ugly for the internet anyway. Don't worry about me.
I'm also still delaying. I still have a lag. I don't know if you guys can see it, but
I'm not sure what's causing the lag.
Yeah, it's strange.
Any storms in your area or anything?
There were earlier in the day, but they've been gone for hours.
Huh. It's weird that because it doesn't normally happen with this. When we did the show on Wednesday, it went off without a hitch.
Yeah. Well, maybe it just doesn't like me. Not everybody likes you.
There has to be a small lag for the sensors and the people on the bleep button to have enough time to, correct what we're doing.
So it knows me is what you're saying.
Well, I wasn't going there, but I thought about it.
Oh, that's too funny. Bobfoot, we are talking about Port Chatham, Alaska again. And we're going into a little bit more detail about it tonight, aren't we, DA?
Yes, we are planning on it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we were still dealing with some of the glitches. I was trying to figure.
Now I can see everybody.
Awesome. Lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Nothing you did. It's nothing unusual for me. But the weird thing is, if you look up the Alaskan Triangle, it's a huge area where a lot of people have gone missing in Alaska. The Alaskan Triangle actually encompasses part of the area around Port Chatham, which kind of explains a lot. Let me see if I can bring up a map of it.
Oh, yeah, it goes from Blaro to Juneau to Anchorage. It doesn't actually quite... It gets close to Port Chatham, but doesn't quite cover it.
Well, that a lot of Alaska is just plain freaky.
Yeah. Well, a lot of Alaska, like 98% of it's uninhabited.
Yeah. The Alaskan Triangle actually covers a piece of Canada, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot there. One of the weirder things about the Alaskan Triangle is the disappearance. Let me find my notes on it. I believe it was in 1974. There was a flight going over the area. I believe it was a DC-10. The U.S. House of Representatives Majority Leader, a guy by the name of Hale Boggs, and an Alaskan congressman named Nick Begich. It was 1972. Their aircraft went down while en route, I believe, to Anchorage, but it went down somewhere in the Alaskan Triangle. Over 100 aircraft, most of which were military, and more than 30 ships were patrolling the area looking for any signs of the aircraft. And they searched for weeks. They searched a 32,000 square mile area and never found a single sign of the aircraft. Gone.
Yep.
Now, I don't think I'm not saying that a portal opened up, swallowed the aircraft, and it disappeared. I don't think anything like that happened. I think the simple fact is that area is so thinly populated and has such a dense foliage canopy of trees and plant life that the plane went down and was just swallowed by the canopy. It'll be one of those things that maybe they'll never find, or maybe one day some hiker will be like hiking through the woods and go, "Holy crap, it's an old airplane."
Well, I remember hearing about this story, and there were some conspiracy theories along with that, because the Congressman Boggs was head of the Warren Commission, and he was also kind of like the dissenting voice in everything. He was one of the few that felt there was more than one gunman in the Kennedy assassination, and he had some weird stuff happen to him, like had some vehicles running him off the road, and a lot of sketchy Men in Black kind of stuff. So, imagine that.
Get your tinfoil hats out, folks. We're going deep.
Isn't that kind of a hallmark of this podcast?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. If we're not in tinfoil hat territory, we're in no territory at all. But it's weird that bit of I didn't know about him with the Warren Commission. It very well could be a case if they sabotaged the plane over an area where they knew it would be almost impossible to find the wreckage. So it could have been a sabotage situation that brought the plane down, or God knows, it might even been shot down.
Who knows? Yeah, it's kind of funky stuff. I know the island they found him on, or that they said. Let me backtrack. The island that they kind of suspected the plane would have gone down on was only like 2 miles away from another island owned by Russia. So you're talking height of the Cold War. Anything could have happened. The pilot gets a little bit out of their own airspace, and whatever. But as far as the tinfoil hat stuff goes, DA, I think we need to kind of work up some kind of a sponsorship with Reynolds Wrap or something like that. I think we can.
Reynolds Wrap and whiskey.
There you go.
What happened to that? You guys still hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We had like a weird background noise, and I didn't really pay attention to it.
Suddenly got better.
Then it just got quiet. And then I was like,
gone.
"Hey, where the hell did that noise go?"
Why is our stream suddenly sounding good?
That's weird.
Because I shut up for a minute.
I didn't notice it until it went away either. Like I noticed the same time you did.
I was just like, it was like barely aware at the edge of my hearing, and then when it was gone, that's when I noticed. I'm like, "The hell was that?"
Hey, DA Rick Olshafer is tuning in with us, and he's making us tinfoil hats.
Awesome. Hey, Rick. Papa Bear has a question.
Can you hear it now, by the way?
Yes.
It's from me. I was muted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
So what's the question up there from Papa Bear? Can somebody put that up and read it?
Yeah.
I found it. It says if you had 6 months and unlimited resources, which would be easier to find, a dogman or Bigfoot?
6 months and unlimited resources. If you had access to thermal imaging satellite technology, you could probably find them within minutes. What?
Welcome, Steve.
You just said you joined us. What the? And then we lost Josh.
Well,
oh, no.
No, we've got Josh. We've lost Naoma.
It was Naoma.
Oh.
And I didn't move.
No?
What is happening? Now Naoma's just in a sandstorm.
The Men in Black have chased her down.
Shoot.
Sorry, I had to bust in some sandstorm.
Oh, she decided to reset. That was weird.
Wow.
What the
that
hell?
Almost looked like a credit scene from Monty Python.
Oh, wow. That was fun.
Steve, I kind of think you might be thinking of a different plane going down, because the Alaskan Triangle is nowhere near Russian space.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of a different plane going down. But I remember Boggs being the head of the Warren Commission, and there was a lot of conspiracy about that. Maybe I might have crossed over the other bit.
Yeah, I got to looking at the triangle. I'm like, wait a minute, that's nowhere near Russia.
Yeah, it's mainly right along the Canadian border.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know the plane I'm thinking of now, and that particular plane had nothing to do with Boggs.
Mm.
You know, when we were looking up the triangle, D, are you aware of the Kushtaka?
Well, why don't you tell us about that, Josh?
I've only seen image. I don't know anything about it. It looks like a little monkey with long fingers and claws.
I have not heard of that one. That's an Alaskan cryptid I have not heard of.
All right, well, I will pull it up. The Kushtaka is a mythical shape-changing creature found in folklore of the... Oh, man, you're going to start using... They're going to start using First Nation languages that I can't pronounce. The Tlingit, Tlingit. They're indigenous people of Pacific North Coast. Let's see. They are capable of assuming human form, otter form.
Hey guys,
Hello.
Hi.
how's it going?
You're out of Dune?
Oh,
When you came back the first time, it was just like all sandy brown.
I noticed that. I also figured out that I could actually hide you guys too.
Oh.
Yeah, I was clicking trying to figure out which one was me because I didn't realize I was the sandstorm. Oh, wow.
Josh,
Didn't mean for that to happen.
Do you have a picture of that little thing?
I'm sure I can grab one.
Okay. Yeah, let's show one of those whenever you got one.
Let's see. Well,
Patty wants you to hide us, Naoma. She's feeling rather spicy tonight.
Oh, I guess I should probably show the chat. So, oh no. Oh, I thought I lost everybody.
not really finding a good image of it. I mean, there's like drawn images.
Okay.
I guess we could just do that.
Yeah, drawing is better than nothing.
All right, I'll pull that up. I don't want YouTube. Stop it. There we go.
You know, we're not going to have a photo of it, Josh, because, you know, it's a cryptid. If we did, it's going to be blurry.
Well, no, I know it wouldn't be a photo,
Squatch.
but like they were not very good drawings. I found one that's okay.
Gotcha.
Open image. Wow, that's not what I want. There we go. That's about as good as it's going to get, folks. Share screen. Not audio.
I thought we were waiting for a picture for some reason. Are we not?
Yes.
Or did I miss the picture? Oh, there's the picture.
The Kushtaka. They're basically like an otter cryptid.
Huh.
Yeah, friendly looking dude, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Otter man.
It kind of looks like Freddy Krueger there to me.
Mm-hmm. It looks like he's waving high.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, my God, any fish?
Come and play with me, guys.
Throw the ball.
You know, I've
Throw
seen
the ball.
the videos of the otters playing with the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, can you imagine the otter man? He's got these boulders just walking towards you.
I mean, is that one of the ones that you think it's adorable right before it eats your face off?
Spamming symbols. Boy, they're really being mean to Meg tonight.
Oh my God. Poor Meg.
We got to shut that bot up.
Yeah. We like you, Meg. I don't know why they're being mean to
The bot's
you.
an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we go.
Well, it's designed for like Twitch and stuff when people do like caps and excessive emojis
Patty
and
says
stuff
that
like
thing
that.
looked like her uncle. Kind of reminded me of a blind date I had once.
Oh.
Yeah. Never, ever, ever go out with someone when they're described you as, well, they call him animal, but he's really nice.
That ranks right up there with, she's very sweet.
Yeah.
You went on a blind date with Animal? Was it like, blind date?
Yeah.
I hope that fixed it. I just went into the settings and shut the spam bot up a little bit.
Tinder. Oh my God, is what Patty said.
Did you guys hear that OnlyFans has dropped their adult content?
Yeah.
Really?
And going broke in 3, 2, 1.
Well,
I thought that's all it was.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to.
It didn't start out that way. So the history of OnlyFans, it's going back to what it was. It was supposed to be more like instructional videos and stuff like that, like yoga and.
Now all these people are going to have to get a job.
I'm sorry. I'm talking to Josh.
It's all right.
Oh. Anyway. Yeah, I did. I'm going to have to go back and check that out again. I thought it was all adult content.
Not anymore.
There goes Steve's side gig.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, well, I got to find some way to entertain myself now.
SpringfieldNaughtyNurses.com is going down.
Just super spicy stuff.
But on a totally unrelated note, Steve will learn how to crochet from OnlyFans.
I could teach.
So it was Steve's Pub and Grub to go eat, and Steve's Pub and Tug to go on OnlyFans.
Oh.
Yeah. Making myself a shawl.
Hey, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, something to hide myself from Bigfoot. Or Animal. But he's really nice.
He's really nice.
Pretty.
So anyway, what are the types of Bigfoot in Alaska? Aren't there like multiple different kinds that are seen there?
Some of the ones that are reported, but especially by people like out in the remoter areas, actually kind of fall more into the mountain giant category, like 15 feet plus tall. There are a couple of canyons up in the deep mountains of Alaska where numerous incidents have been reported where they saw in excess of 15 feet tall. But these are described as being, well, built more like somebody like that plays in the NBA, like tall and skinny.
Yeah.
And using clubs and sometimes wearing like large furs as clothing. So it kind of strikes me that the mountain giants really aren't a variety of Bigfoot, but are something along the lines of the Kandahar giants. I think they're more just like throwback giants. I don't think they're actual. I don't think they're Bigfoot, but that's just me. I am. If anybody that's wanting to hear the show, we talked about the 10 types of Bigfoot and the video that we shared from Matt Squatch Presents. I'm putting together my own list. And it'll be by no means an all-inclusive list. And I'm not trying to argue with Matt Squatch. I think he does a hell of a good job. But I'm going to do mine a little differently than his because there's a few things on his list that I don't really think fit into the category of Bigfoot. I think like the devil monkeys that have been seen out in California and even in Florida. I don't think they're Bigfoot creatures. I think they're some sort of primate that probably escaped and went bad. The mountain giants, I don't think they are.
Tired of people insulting my kids. Goddamn devil monkeys.
I personally think the devil monkeys are just messed out chimps.
I mean,
I've only heard a few things about the devil monkeys. I haven't heard enough about them to
they're weird.
Really form an opinion. But don't they look a lot like orangutans?
Not quite that big. Think baboon size.
Mm-hmm.
I would picture them looking kind of like Gollum from the Lord of the Rings.
My precious.
I mean, some of these smaller ones, couldn't they just be escaped primates?
Anything like dope.
Easily. I mean, there are places like in Southern California and in Florida and hell throughout the southern states with the swampier areas where there'd be plenty to support a primate population if they escaped.
Rabid marmoset.
Rabid Marmosets. Hello from Burns, Kansas. Awesome. Thank you for joining us.
So,
All right. So, but up there, we think it's mainly just giants. Maybe. Do you think they could crossbreed with Sasquatch?
Maybe.
what'd he say? I can't hear Josh. What did he say?
That's
That's
Josh.
weird.
Josh
I can
said
hear him.
he think the mountain giants could crossbreed with Sasquatch.
Oh,
And that's a good question. I mean, it's not something I hadn't really considered. Maybe. There are a lot of tales of crossbreeding Sasquatch with humans, so I guess it'd probably be possible. I mean, God knows what it would look like.
It's a little disturbing.
Yeah. Of course, the variety of Sasquatch that are in Alaska are known to be far more aggressive than, say, the ones that are spotted in Northern California. The ones in Northern California are probably pretty mellowed out because of all the illegal marijuana grows. So I'm sure they're just sailing.
Token Sasquatch.
yeah.
So
No wonder they eat so many Jack Links.
Are you thinking like the Alaska ones, maybe more like some of the Gugway type variety, or
I think in that level of temperament,
somewhere else?
There are some of the types that Matt Squatch described, like the Genosqua, and there's a type of Sasquatch that they refer to as a Wendigo, even though it's not the traditional Wendigo with the horns, and but they refer to it as a Wendigo because it preys on people, and that's a cold climate creature. Any creature that lives in a predominantly cold environment like Alaska, which is cold more of the year than it is warm, they have summer. It was on a Tuesday this year.
Yeah.
From when their region is predominantly cold, bigger animals like that are going to require a huge amount of protein to survive. Hell, there's even videos floating around of deer eating birds when they're really needing a protein, and it's weird that you would think an ungulate, a plant eating like of the deer species, would eat meat under weird circumstances, but there's strange crap out there. I mean, it happens every day. We just when we think we've got something figured out, we don't.
Well, so in the chat, Rick has commented that the next time you go to LBL, remember that you're in his state and close to him. He has no issues doing Overwatch.
Well, I may take him up on that. I'm going to just go in and shut the bot completely off. I went in and adjusted it and told her to turn things off. I'm just going to turn the bot off. Okay, bot can go to heck. All right, bot is off. Bot can just shut it. It pisses me off.
Oi, shut it!
Yeah, you bot, shut it. No more from you. Bob says, "You want to fight Streamlabs? Put them up. Fight in the chat room. Fight in the chat room."
Probably got a Simon Pegg, using a Scottish accent.
You eat like a bean and you're done. I'm talking food.
He was one of my favorite parts of the Abrams Star Trek,
That's
which
hilarious.
wasn't
Yes.
super great, but
God, yes.
Simon Pegg nailed that character. And you know what? Carl Urban as Bones was also phenomenal.
He was perfect.
Yeah.
How can I make myself hear?
I really love Simon Pegg. When
how do you not hear me?
Yeah,
It's weird that you can't hear Josh. Did you selectively mute Josh?
I'm looking to see if I did.
Can
Josh, shut it.
Can chat hear me? Chat, let me know if you can hear me. Apparently, or Naoba just has like a Josh filter on somewhere.
Know.
That's funny.
Josh, maybe you can riddle me this. When I click on show stream and on one of the comments and bring it up, all I get is an empty blue box. I don't get the comment. I just get a blue box.
So do I.
What the heck is causing that?
Chat says they can hear Josh.
Well, it's just
He is
Naoma
audible.
then.
Okay.
So, got a question from the chat here, and I want this answered by somebody who's actually military DA.
Okay.
Define Overwatch.
Overwatch. It's basically when you've got a sniper in position to cover your movements. Providing Overwatch, he would be in a raised platform, preferably, maybe even across the canal, well out of line of contact, watching our every movement. And if anything got too close, it's going to get smoked.
So is that the role that Valkyrie provides?
Yes, Valkyrie provides Overwatch.
Valkyrie is a badass.
She's a beast.
Yeah.
I got some flack for that comment about Clark saying, "What, that record's held by a Canadian? Well, that's not going to stand."
Oh,
I
no.
got some flack for that. Like, hey, don't pick on the Canadians. I'm like, hey, I got other respect for the Canadian military. I can totally see Clark saying that. We're not going to get outdistanced by a Canadian. We're doing gun shopping when we get back to base.
Well, the Canadian record, I remember there was a show the History Channel did on snipers, and they interviewed what was the name, Carlos, the Marine sniper.
Carlos Halfcock.
Yes, thank you, Carlos Sasquatch, and they kind of worked their way up, and they were talking about the longest shot that Canadian gentleman had made. And one of the commenters, in so many words, it was sanitize you for the History Channel, but he basically said, yeah, you could pull the trigger, tear down the gun, pack up your crap, and leave, and then the round would finally hit the guy. Yeah.
Have a sandwich, write a letter home.
Yeah, I think they said it was something like an 8 or a 12-second shot.
God dang.
So, literally, you just kind of pull the trigger, just kind of watching.
Papa Bear says the Canadians got lucky, had wind assistance. Luck or not, it's still an incredible shot. And those guys from Canada's Special Forces are some pretty hardcore dudes.
Yeah.
3,540 yards. That's the current record.
Dang.
That's what's that, about 2 miles? Well,
Yeah.
a mile is like 1,750 yards.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah, it's about 2 miles.
Jesus.
Crap.
Whew.
That would literally be like shooting your house from my porch.
Yeah, basically. I'm like drinking a beer and it gets shot out of my hand. Like, damn it, Steve! I just opened that.
That was my last Guinness, you bastard. No, we need to go the other way with that when I'm holding up one of those IPAs and Rachel breaks me.
They just hold it up. Kill it! Kill it! 338 Lapua Magnum with a Night Force Beast for a scope I can do that for you. Hell yeah. That's a hell of a round too.
Wow.
You put a 338 Lapua Magnum round into something and it doesn't drop, we got bigger problems.
Hey guys, I think I'm gonna bow out here. I gotta go lay down.
Oh, I'm sorry, Josh. Hope you get to feeling better, brother.
That's all right. I got a headache.
All right, man. You take care.
Catch you later, brother.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining the stream and thanks for hanging out.
If you're feeling better tomorrow, shoot me a message and we'll see if we can't troubleshoot this and figure out what went wrong with bringing up messages and stuff. If you're feeling better.
Yeah, I wouldn't count on tomorrow being better. Probably worse.
Well, good luck, man.
We'll hope. All right,
brother.
Get some rest.
See you guys. Oh, I almost did something somebody else did. I almost hit the wrong button.
Oh, don't end the stream.
Oh.
Good night, guys.
Good night, man.
Bye-bye. Yeah, 338 Lapua. I think the logo for that, or the motto for that company, as I said, stay down, damn it.
Basically, yes.
Oh, Patty wants to know what Steve is consuming tonight. The odd mix of a Bang and Bushmills 10-year.
You still got some
Bang actually improves the flavor.
Might. Bang Energy. Oh, well, I'm not sure which is worse. I know it's not good for you.
No. Well, my goal is I can take out my kidneys and my liver all in one drink.
You'll be dead but wide awake.
Yeah, I'll be dead for 3 days before my body figures it out. Yeah.
Need to do that. Naomi, we can't hear you. You're just talking away and we can't hear a word you say. There you go.
Probably good because I'm just babbling.
She's having a senile moment. Leave her alone.
Yeah.
I
actually muted myself because I was gonna say, with all of the lagging and the fact that I can't hear half the hosts, I was gonna exit, and then Josh exited, and I thought, well, that probably wouldn't be a good time to bail on you.
Can you hear both me and Steve?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we're in good shape then. I just had to figure out why the heck I can't see the message boxes when they pop up.
Yeah.
I like Melon. I really do. It's got a lot of great features, but it's kind of a painful process learning all the ins and outs. And I have not figured them all out yet. We do have the videos up and working, but be damned if I really have mastered that particular bit of information. We are coming up on the at the top of the first hour. I would like to go ahead and play a word from our sponsor, so to speak. If you guys have not had a chance to check out Dark Angel Medical, definitely check them out. www.darkangelmedical.com. Best medical kits in the business. I carried one for years as a cop. I have one that goes with me everywhere I go now. If you ever have to use your kit to save a life, Dark Angel has the kit for life guarantee. They will replace the contents that you used of the kit and rebuild the kit for free. They're fantastic kits, whether you're going to get a basic first aid kit or something all the way up through heavy trauma. They've got a kit that'll cover you. Get kits for vehicles. They got kits for your boat. Check them out at darkangelmedical.com, and I'll let you hear it directly from Carrie. But again, in my opinion, best kits in the business.
Hey everybody, this is Carrie Pocket Dot Davis from Dark Angel Medical, and you are listening to DA Ex Machina with DA Roberts. You may recognize me or some of my products from Dark Angel Medical in some of the Apex Predator, Lakeview Man, and Wild Hunt books, and you can get those products at www.darkangelmedical.com, along with training classes on how to use those products and save a life. Shoot us an email at info@darkangelmedical.com and be the difference.
Got mine right here. I am really shocked the green screen didn't rat that out.
That's funny. That's because it's OD green. It's resistant to everything.
Yeah.
Takes out my cup.
Yeah, it does get your cup. But these really are awesome kits. I carried one just like this, but it was in black on my duty belt forever. Just fantastic kits. I can't stress them enough. I mean, if you go to the range, if you drive long distance, if you do anything that might require a kit, consider getting a Dark Angel kit because they are fantastic.
Yeah, I like the new headrest kit that Carrie's worked up. That's pretty sweet.
He's also in the process of doing a Codename Wild Hunt kit. It's going to have the Wild Hunt logo on the kit. So those will be available not only through his website, but we'll link them directly from here. And I'm sure we'll have Carrie on the show to talk about those. Those should be out very soon. And speaking of the Wild Hunt kits, I've got the artwork with a patch guy waiting to get the estimates back on how many units I need to order. So hopefully very soon we will have Codename Wild Hunt patches with the Team Odin rocker available for anybody that's interested in those. I know I had like 3 prototypes, and Steve got one and I got one, and I've yet to send the other one out. I need to send that to somebody. Got a couple people in mind, but I've got to decide who gets the other prototype. But yeah, definitely check out Dark Angel Medical and be watching for that new kit. We'll be talking about that quite a bit. He's going to be putting together a special discount code just for DA Ex Machina, and we'll have the code on here, and you'll be able to get a percentage off of all your purchases at Dark Angel Medical.
That's cool.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make that a long infomercial there.
So anyway, back to Alaska.
Yes, definitely back to Alaska.
Got any really good creepy stories that you can share at this moment?
Alaska has a lot of really weird stories coming out of it. There was a account of miners being ran out of a valley that the natives had told them not to go prospecting in. Apparently, they went. There was like 6 of them that went up into the mountains, and they found a rich vein of gold. And one of them took samples of the ore back to the assayer's office, and the assayer said, "This is a very rich ore. There's a high gold content. You guys have hit a good vein of gold." So the guy picks up the sells the gold, picks up the new equipment and supplies that they need, and heads back up. When he gets to their mining camp, they're all dead. Just found them just ripped to pieces. So the guy basically just abandoned the claim and ran. And people have been looking to find that claim for years, because it's supposed to be such a rich vein of gold, but they've never been able to locate it. But they're supposedly, I don't know. This is just things I've read about and watched on shows about Alaska. But there are old abandoned mine shafts all over those mountains. You can find mines that some played out, some were abandoned claims, some probably met with bad ends, either at the hands of their partner or rival miners. Long bloody history in Alaska, and not all of it cryptid related.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of how much gold it would take to convince me to go looking for a mine where the guy got back and everybody was ripped to pieces. I'm not that greedy. I can honestly say I am not that greedy.
Gold does strange things to people. There was also that encounter I talked about before, and this was in the Alaskan Triangle. Bush pilot took a hunting party out to an established elk camp, and it was pretty far back in the wildlands. Like weeks, if you'd have been on foot, it would be weeks to the nearest town. And he drops these guys off, and the pilot reported that when he was heading back, several miles away, he saw a very large Bigfoot creature heading toward the camp. Well, he didn't think anything of it. 2 weeks later, when he goes back to pick up the hunters, finds the camp's been destroyed. There's dried blood on the ground, empty shell casings and broken rifles all over the place, but not a sign of the hunting party. But enough shell casings to know they didn't go down without a fight.
Wow.
Yeah, nasty stuff.
Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, it's beautiful country. I would love to go visit it, but I will err on the side of cowardice.
I would love to put together a group if I had the money, or could get the backing of, say, somebody like the Travel Channel or something. But I would love to do like a 2-week expedition to Port Chatham.
I was all about going and staying on the boat and watching you guys from the middle of the lagoon, but I guess that ain't going to happen.
Well, that guy was out there. The guy that was attacked on his boat was on a small fishing boat. I wouldn't want to go out there without a boat big enough for us to sleep on it. I mean, I would probably spend a night or two on the shore, but for the most part, we'd make our forays during the day, then go back to the boat and watch cameras at night.
Yeah.
But there, I would like to set up with a security team and camp somewhere on shore and see if anything approached us.
And when it approaches,
well, that's when you've got somebody providing overwatch.
Alrighty.
It's when you've got somebody like Rick sitting, a good distance away with some kind of, armor-piercing or depleted uranium rounds or something.
No kidding. Or, big 458 SOCOMs.
And the assumption is the Bigfoot didn't sneak in and get him first.
I'm kidding. This is default name, says I can do stickers. Say the word DA, I'll fire off. RJ, if that's you, shoot me a message. If you can do stickers, we may have to work something out. I think that's RJ because it looks like his symbol, his little image.
Yeah. His little avatar.
So let's call in airstrikes and some arty, and then we'll go look around. Do it Noel's Way says, you ever seen the film Bone Tomahawk starring Kurt Russell? It's definitely got a big vibe to it. That's what I thought it was when I heard those whistles. I thought, well, that's really pretty creepy. But it was even a little more disturbing what it turned out to be. If you haven't seen Bone Tomahawk, it is one of the truly most like cringy, gory, like, oh my God, kind of gory films I've ever seen. But it's a fantastic movie. Great movie. But if you haven't had a chance to watch it, I definitely recommend it. It is a good one. Facebook user says, how wants to join the Alaska State Troopers? I would have when I was a younger man before I did my damage in my back. But my wife, I had the opportunity to try to move up there to do it, and my wife is like, hell no, we're not moving to Alaska. She hates cold weather.
I have a cousin that lived up there for 15 years. Not
Nice.
my cup of tea.
Well, you freeze your butt off in the winter, and then the summer the mosquitoes eat you alive, or carry you back to their den.
I had a few stickers made through my my Teespring store, and the stickers are pretty nice. I don't know how well you can see them. Oh, it's trying to chroma key out.
That's fine.
I have 4 of these. Maybe we should give a couple of those away. I want to put one on my van, so I need to keep at least one. So who would like a Wild Hunt sticker? I have 3 up for grabs.
Okay.
Guess we'll wait and see who chimes in first.
I was gonna say, Sal has already, prior to you revealing that you had those, was already very excited about stickers.
Meg wants one.
Yep.
Noel's Way. Okay. I'll say. Oh, Facebook users Josh. All right. Just gives them to the others. I'll steal the van. That's funny.
I love it.
Okay. Let's say Do It Noel's Way chimed in, Meg, and Bill Sloan. If you guys will message me and give me an address to send these to, I'll mail them out to you within the next couple of days. So let me write down who I'll be mailing these to before I forget.
Ultimately, when we get some larger batch printed, I do need to get one for my vehicle too. That'd be pretty awesome.
I'll order some more. I forgot I had the things, or I'd have gave you one already, Steve. I'll order some more.
No worries.
I ordered them a while back and then threw them up on my desk and forgot I had them until I looked up there and went, oh, I've got some Wild Hunt stickers.
I happen to have an in with the owner. It's all right.
Yeah, just either message me through my Facebook channel or contact me through DA Roberts at daroberts.net and give me the address you want those sent to, and I will mail those out either tomorrow or the day after. Tomorrow's Sunday. I'll mail them out Monday or Tuesday.
So
Eddie says, go ahead.
No, I said default name is going to share the van with me, DA, so I don't need a sticker.
That's funny.
Eddie says, wait, what did I miss? Did I win?
Oh, poor Eddie.
Yeah, I need to get some more of those stickers on hand. They're through my Teespring store. They're they're not cheap. I mean, they unfortunately. So that's why I'm looking for people that can do. Looking for an outlet where I can get some stickers made that are a little less pricey per unit. As Teespring, that's one of the things I don't like about Teespring is their base prices on stuff is a little high. But we'll see if I can find an easier outlet to get some stickers made. Probably do Wild Hunt stickers, maybe some Ragnarok stickers, and see what we got from there.
Who were the 3 names that you picked?
Do It Noel's Way, Meg Mills, and Bill Sloan.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, what?
Sal was the first one to say he wanted one.
Well, I will get some more in, I promise. I already kind of announced that.
Committed yourself.
Yeah, I kind of committed myself. So I'll get those sent out. Well, you know what? I've got 4 here. Sal, you can contact me the same way, and I'll give you the 4th one. I'll just get myself another one later.
Get yourself one with the Steve patch.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll try to get some of those ordered here very soon.
Oh, speaking of,
that's all right, Meg. I've got 4. That's perfectly okay. I mean, it's not like I can't order more.
Speaking of stickers, DA, look what I ended up getting for my laptop the other night.
There you go.
I was pretty excited about it. It's my buddy's band.
Cool.
I've got one for my laptop too, but I haven't pop the cork and put it on there.
Oh, that's awesome.
I got that at the ranger station in the LBL.
That's awesome. Well, right now my I've got a MacBook, so my laptop's not that big. I've got that innuendo sticker on there. Another one. I've got the Ragnarok sticker, and then I've got Black Rifle Coffee sticker that's got the red cross on it. It says coffee.
Nice.
So pretty much sums up everything. My students got a kick out of it.
Oh, we lost Naomi. Hopefully she'll be right back. We're having some connection issues tonight. She's got a little bit of lag, which isn't normal. It might be Melon. Melon might be acting up tonight. We had a storm in the area here, but it never really did anything. It was supposed to storm all day, and I don't think it rained at all.
No, last night it rained like hell. About 4 or 5 in the morning, I could see it coming down in sheets outside the ER, and it rained hard enough to chase the crackheads away for a moment.
Patty says, DA, can I mail you my copy of The Nightmare Hunter so you can autograph it? Sure, I'd be happy to. Message me offline and I'll give you my address. I'm not going to put it out on the show.
Oh, come on, coward.
Yeah. I don't think the wife would be very thrilled about it. Oh, Naomi, you're in a sandstorm again.
Yeah. I wonder if she's having connectivity issues.
She might. It might be just on her end. That storm that went through this area might be in her area now because she's just in Tennessee, and that's just a few hundred miles east of us.
Well, I guess she's outside of Nashville, isn't she?
I think so. I think it's what she said.
Yeah.
Evening, Awissa. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, Patty, like I said, message me offline, and I'll give you my address, and I can get that taken care of for you pretty easy. Hey, I can see her this time. There you are.
Yeah.
You made it back, but it was just the sandstorm thing again.
Yeah, I can hear you guys when I'm there, but I just can't bring up video. And now my video looks really harsh.
Yeah, you look fine. It looks all right.
But I actually think that I'm going to leave the show to you two because this is making me a little too crazy.
You all right?
Yeah, it's just frustrating. I mean, it was weird because you two were frozen, and I'm thinking, am I here by myself? And then I thought, no, I bet I'm the one that's frozen. And I was. And you guys are just, and it was like, oh, I feel like, I don't know, the last person on earth. But I think rather than try to figure it out or mess with it any more tonight, I'm going to leave the show to you two, and I'm going to say good evening, guys.
Well, thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. You know, you're always welcome.
Thank you. I'll probably still watch it from YouTube. Think I'm over fighting with this.
I understand. Well, we'll miss you. I get a kick out of the shows that you're been doing with DA on the Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
And I don't get to see them in real time because I have to turn in real early. I got to be at the school at 6 a.m. on Thursday mornings, and that's a little rough for this old fart.
Yeah.
But I'm getting a kick out of the shows.
Well, I'm gonna. I've been having fun doing them, and I hate to do this, but it's just getting to the point that I'm getting a headache from trying to figure out what's going on, and I'm like always constantly watching you guys to make sure I can hear you both, and yeah, that's too much for me. So, you guys have a great night, and I will probably see you, DA, anyway, on Wednesday, and Steve, I'll see you next week.
All right, catch you then.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Always, anytime.
So right before Nelma signed off, Patty says that Nelma's problems are paranormal activity in Nashville.
It might be. You never know. Ronald says, with all the fires, where are the Bigfoot going? I would guess they probably flee the fires just like other wildlife. And I would also say they probably use some of the deeper caves. It'd be a great place to hide till the fires passed. There was actually an account came out of one of the wildfires out in California from a firefighter. Naomi was talking about it the other night. I guess he was surrounded in the fire and a Bigfoot carried him out. That quickly got shut up pretty fast. But they're affected by the wildfires just the same as any other animal. I would guess they probably know their escape routes. But some of the same stories, like during the Mount St. Helens eruption, talked about the military going in and removing like containers of dead Bigfoot from the area. So again, that falls back on I firmly believe the government has known about these things for a long time. And ultimately, they're going to have to admit they exist. It's just going to get to a point where there's too much interaction with people where they just can't cover it up anymore. More and more people come forward every day with accounts. And for every one person that comes forward with an account, there's 1,000 that had an account that will not come forward about it. I've been astounded by some of the people, like bring up Bigfoot. They're like, actually I had something happen to me. And they tell you a story and you're like, holy crap, how come you never went forward with that? Because people think I'm crazy.
Well, you and I talked about this before about how, it's in the interest of economics, to deny their existence because of the tourism thing. I mean, like we were saying ourselves. I mean, granted, the panel on our typical show, we're a little crazier than most, but all of us are like, Bigfoot, oh hell no, we don't want to have anything to do with that area. It hurts the tourism in one of these rugged places. There's an incentive to not mess with it. And then you think of stuff like Area 51, for example. I mean, that Grooms Dry Lake Base has been there for decades, but they didn't officially acknowledge its existence until the point where civilian satellites that couldn't be censored took pictures of the base. They're like, there's a bit of base there, but don't worry about what's doing.
Yeah. And I'm kind of wondering, and this is just me. I wonder if Area 51's not a MacGuffin at this point. Yeah, they let people think that that's where everything happens, and they do just enough there to keep their attention. But if they didn't move the really ultra secret stuff somewhere else when that base became public, that's just my thoughts on the thing. Sal says, "Hey guys, do you know where the best source to find out about Bigfoot activity here in Alabama?" Don't generally plug this website because it's not one of my favorites, but the Bigfoot BFRO, Bigfoot Researchers Organization. One of the things I do like about that is they do a really good job of compiling accounts. So if you go to the BFRO website and look at their sighting reports, it breaks it down by state and then by county. You can look at their sighting reports and find out where the most activity are in your area. And another good site for you would be the Gulf Coast Bigfoot Researchers Organization, the GCBRO. They handle just basically all the Gulf Coast states, from Florida to Texas. You would find a lot of good information on their site as well.
We had a couple.
Greg Price
comments
says
here.
Area S2 is where the real action is now. I'm not surprised. Like I said, I would not have shocked me that as soon as they allowed Area 51 to go public, if it already wasn't by and large, just a show pony, a MacGuffin to keep your attention on it.
Couple comments here. Default name said they have some Bigfoot caught in the fires in Nevada when they worked there firefighting. Some men in suits came, took the live, badly burned biggies away, and then put them in burn units and flew them off. They all saw them. And
the reports just like that came out of Mount St. Helens, have come out of the California fires. This is happening. And I'll say this again and again: the government knows they're out there. We don't have to prove they exist. The government already knows. They just don't want us to freak out. Or I don't know if it's a case that they think we would just freak out, or if they're afraid it'll affect both the tourism and the logging industry, which both put millions and millions in congressmen's pockets with lobbyists. Businessmen say one of the best long-term investments you can make is buying a senator. That's sad, but it's the truth. Well, because some of these businesses have vested interest in these things not being known. Like, look what happened to the logging industry when the spotted owl became a protected species. It killed the logging industry in a big chunk of the Pacific Northwest, the range of this owl. Now, what if it's a protected hominid, an intelligent hominid that's ranges most of the United States? What happens to the logging industry?
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's look at, let's play devil's advocate and look at the altruistic side of this thing. What if they don't want it to be acknowledged because they're worried about the loss of human life trying to go after them? Mm-hmm. How many idiots with the Discovery Channel or rednecks with guns, are going to try to go after so they get their own Bigfoot?
I would say it would be more likely the rednecks with the guns. The state of Oklahoma offered I want to say a $1 million bounty on anybody that can bring one in alive. I'm surprised that hasn't wound up, causing more problems, or it might have, and we just haven't heard about it. Alyssa Khan says, we have a bunch of fires here in Oregon. This past week, they're moving into Willamette Valley, about 30 miles from the fire. The Bigfoot still close to the fires are very pissy with people right now. I would imagine so. If my home was on fire, I probably wouldn't want anybody poking around, especially if, the rumors that some of those fires were intentionally set are true. I mean, they would not be very damn happy with somebody that set fire to their home. And even if not, I mean, there's, some people out there that are taking advantage of the chaos. Excuse me, coffee's making me hiccup. I firmly think that if they're being pushed out of an area by fires, they're not going to be in a good mood. I mean, all the other animals, it's fight or flight, and they're in full blown flight mode. So anything in their way is probably going to get trampled or knocked aside. Yeah.
Well, and if they're wounded too, I mean, you can get tore pretty good by a 10-pound dog if it's injured.
Mm-hmm.
What 1,000-pound Bigfoot, more maybe. I don't know how big those damn things are going to be.
Well, MK Davis was saying, he said that they're incredibly densely built. He said, if you look at one and you estimate that it weighs about 400 pounds, double it and you're probably close. So I definitely would go by that. MK Davis, there are very few people whose word I would take over MK Davis. That guy is an authority. I need to get him back on the show. I want to get Ron Moorhead back on the show too. But MK Davis is if he's found it on film, he knows what he's talking about. MK is a valuable source of information. If you guys don't know anything about MK Davis, just Google him. There is a ton of stuff out there. He's probably the foremost expert on the Patterson-Gimlin film. He's literally studied it frame by frame by frame and done stabilizations. And you check out his website and everything. He's done some phenomenal work.
Yeah. I think you need to get Jody the Squatch Man on there too. He's always a fun ride. He's a neat fella. I am a little concerned that one night he was able to live stream from his cell phone in his Jeep better than we were able to do on our fiber.
Yeah, he was in the middle of nowhere live streaming on his from his Jeep, which I thought was hilarious. Squatch Man,
Yeah.
awesome guy.
Man. Oh yeah, pretty cool dude.
Greg Price says there's sufficient forensic evidence already available that if someone had enough money and standing to do so, they could sue and legally establish their existence. Todd Standing tried that in Canada, and I think he pretty much got decimated in court. And it was tried in California too, and it didn't get anywhere. There was a lady tried against the state of California, and it didn't get anywhere. The weird that you would say that the sufficient forensic evidence, because it makes me think, if you look at my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/DA Roberts Author, I shared an article earlier today where National Geographic are saying that there's enough forensic evidence to admit the existence of Bigfoot. That's big. That is huge when National Geographic says that. Wissaconsin says, got a 500 to 600 pound bath stump thrown about 40 feet downriver. From what I've seen in person, females average about 800 pounds and males more like 1,200. I can see that. I can definitely see that. Some of the big males pushing 8 to 10 feet tall. Yeah, that's going to be a heavy animal.
Well, yeah, makes sense. I mean, what a full grown horse, like standard, like quarter horse weighs 800 to 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
And that's a lot leaner creature than, these drawings of Bigfoot seem to indicate.
Yeah, look at the thick muscle mass on the descriptions of Bigfoot. Yeah, that's a heavy creature.
Well, they got a 200-pound neck.
Someone likes my hat.
How funny!
Thank you. That's the Karl Kolchak hat. It's from the Night Stalker collection. Let me get that over there.
How funny!
Love this hat. I will wear this hat till it falls apart, then buy 2 more. It's kind of become my signature. I wear this hat all the time, and I've got a buddy that works security at a casino down in Oklahoma, and we went down to go to the casino, and I got out of the van, and he comes screeching up. He's like, "Dude, that hat is a dead giveaway from 2 blocks away." I'm like, "Hey, what can I say? I love this hat."
I love it. Well, we've just ruined Patty's vacation to Yosemite over Thanksgiving.
Yosemite would be a great place to go. Just don't get off the marked trails. The people that disappear are taking those backcountry trails. You don't hear about people disappearing from the visitors center. You get people in backcountry and they're gone. And the weird part is sometimes they find their clothes, like their clothes and their shoes, just like neatly sat somewhere. That's really weird. I don't know what the hell would cause that.
Yeah. It's funny. When you mentioned the visitor center, it had me thinking. To scroll back to your Ragnarok books, you put forth the proposition that the pumpkin caches that the military had set up were in places like state parks and under the visitor center and whatnot. And then in a previous podcast, you'd commented that there's some belief that Teddy Roosevelt, formed the national parks to kind of cordon off, these cryptids from the general public.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe those events are related. I mean, if you're willing to put these very large primates someplace where they can't cause any damage, but you want to have an alternative in case something goes really south, put all the weapons there too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know for a fact Pomkus caches exist. That it stands for Positioned Outside Military Control, United States. Pomkus caches are a thing. They started doing them during World War II when they thought the U.S. was going to get invaded by Japan, and they ended up putting them pretty much everywhere. And they've continually put out new equipment. I mean, some of the ones that had equipment from World War II were abandoned. So supposedly there's a number of places around the United States where there are just time capsules of World War II equipment buried that they never went back for. I would love to find one. I'd love to have a couple of them old Jeeps or a good a deuce and a half in good condition, or those Army motorcycles with the sidecar. I'd love to have find one of those caches and be able to keep it.
Hell,
but,
even a Mod Deuce or a couple of M1s would be nice.
Yes. The M1's a great rifle, but those Pomkish caches exist even today. Some of the ones in Europe even have large vehicles like tanks in them. And allegedly, a couple of them contain something that's called a Daniel Boone, or a backpack nuke. I don't know. It's just something I read. So I put a lot of credence in the source that I read it from. So I would estimate it, they're probably there somewhere. Yeah, Greg Price says it costs more to ship stuff all over than it does to buy and bury it. Yeah, you're not wrong. And those Pomkish caches were put in place in case a unit got cut off from supply. The unit could break out a code book, find one of these Pomkish caches, and resupply. They were some of them were designed to resupply company size, some of them even battalion size. So God knows how big some of these things are, and the cache itself could be used as a reinforced fob. So I firmly believe they exist. I know they exist. It's not just a matter of believing. They're there. I just don't know where they are.
So here's the plan: we find one, we loot it, and then we build Steve's Pub and Grub in there.
Woo! Steve's Pub and Grub bunker style.
Bunker style.
Ronald says, my grandmother told me stories about a big one that would steal her chickens. I've heard a lot of stories about chickens being stolen. My inner hillbilly showing through. Come down, got my chicken stole. Yeah,
they stole my chicken.
My busting into my hillbilly. I try not to talk like a hillbilly, but sometimes my inner hillbilly comes out. Patty says, I mean, if Bigfoot would shower and get a trim, he might be good looking. I can imagine Bigfoot all cleaned up with like a man bun and his beard all trimmed up. Alyssa says John Bindernagel tried to prove them with DNA. Study got destroyed, and the DNA expert wrecked career-wise. I believe eDNA can give proof with enough samples. I agree. I think the eDNA will eventually bring it to light. The thing is every time a study is done on DNA, it just gets suppressed or buried, or they completely discredit the scientist. I think it was Melba Ketchum that did that DNA study on Sasquatch, and they just destroyed her career. Absolutely destroyed this lady, and that's horrible that they would do that. Juanita says, first Sasquatch I saw around 7 feet. The one I think is the alpha is around 8 feet. They're all sizes that I've seen. I've heard reports ranging from like human size and juveniles being smaller, of course. But up in Alaska, some of them range 12 to 15 foot, and that's a big creature. Yeah. A 12 footer could probably pick you up and chuck you across the bay.
Well, a full-grown bull polar bear on its hind legs can get up to like 14 feet.
That's a big animal. Ugh.
So,
yeah. Facebook user says, when's the giveaway portion of the show? Well, I was giving away stickers tonight, and they're all already spoken for. So give me a little time to get some more stuff together. I use the Patreon to pick up things like from my Teespring store, and I'll be able to give some stuff away here hopefully soon. Let's see. Greg says Shades of Morrow Project. Yeah, Morrow Project. Yeah, very much so. Lenita says, they look as different as DA and myself. I had an old World War II Jeep. It was great for riding around in the forest. Yeah, I want to get one of those like side-by-side gators, like the ones John Deere makes and some other companies. Some of them are 6-wheel drive. We used them when I work security for Silver Dollar City. They'll go damn near anywhere, and you can have like 3 or 4, even sometimes even 5 people in them. Plus, have a little cargo hatch. So, yeah, that's what I ultimately want to get. If I'm dreaming for equipment, because I could take one of those in places I couldn't take a car because they're about the same wheel width as most ATVs, or maybe just a little bigger. Werewolf says, I helped clean out an old civil defense bunker. It had 2 full surgical suites and all of the equipment. I'm not shocked. I mean,
Wow.
when they were concerned that the U.S. was going to have an enemy on our own soil, we put in a lot of stuff. Alyssa says the Bigfoot had tribal names. The one I knew as a child called herself Oma, and the next tribe to hers, she said, called themselves Omak. I've heard the name Oma. I think it was used by the Salish up in the Pacific Northwest.
That's cool.
Greg says, get a Sherp. Yeah, those would be neat.
Well, as long as you can mount a nice weapon on the top of it,
Yeah. Well, as long as I've got my single point carrier, I'll just keep the Keltec KSG on my chest.
There you go. It was funny from reading your books when I finally bought my AR. I made it a point to get mounts put on it so I could rig it either 2-point or single point. I saw the value in both.
Yeah. I have a single point. I just prefer them, but it's all about taste. I mean, when it comes to a sling on your weapon, just use what makes you comfortable. Ronald says, how did you find that out? I assume he's talking about the Pomkus caches. So if you're not talking about the Pomkus caches, let me know what you meant. But how I found out about the Pomkus caches is I had a friend that was his job when he was in the army in Germany. Was going around to Pomkus caches and keeping things updated and cycling out old ammo and things like that.
Well, that is the quartermaster job you want.
Yeah. He was with Army Intel, so it wasn't one of those jobs that fell to your average soldier. Do It Knowles Way says, I heard stories of hospital trains that are still hidden somewhere in Europe from the Cold War. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they buried a lot of things. I mean, let's look at London, say during the Blitz. How much stuff is still hidden down in the London Underground that we don't even know about? Because there are still a lot of things down in the London Underground that you can go take care of and go do and check out venues, but there's still parts of it that are walled off. We don't know what's back there. We may never know what's back there.
Yep, there's entire tube stations that are walled off from the.
Yep, I love those urban explorer videos where some of these guys go back in those places. There's a lot of places all over Europe that have been sealed up and forgotten. I mean, hell, there are areas of France where they still don't let people go because of unexploded ordnance from World War One. We've left our mark on Europe. Not just us. I mean, battle has left its mark all over Europe, from hidden equipment to treacherous battlefields that are still dangerous today. I thought it was really cool that they found when they were checking the battlefield at Gallipoli, they found a bullet that had actually penetrated another bullet. And the odds of that happening are so astronomically low. That just tells you how much lead was in the air during that battle. So,
yeah, Papa Bear posed a question about how you spell the name of the caches. It's Pomcus.
Correct. Pomcus caches. You can Google them. There's information out there about them, but you won't find where they are. They are very well hidden. Patty says, DA, please have a Halloween show. Well, that's kind of in the works. I'll be able to do my programming pretty much on any day of the week, but my DAX Machina is scheduled on Saturday the 30th. And if my wife hasn't made plans for me, which I'm unaware of, which I'm frequently unaware of plans she's made, I want to try to do a Halloween night show as well. So we'll see what's in the works and what we can get done. I want to do the shows. Everybody that does a part of the show should be in costume. So we'll do that. Maybe I can hand out some trick or treats that night.
Yeah, I may have to show up as my Pinkerton costume that I have on my my Amazon page.
Oh, I like your
the steampunk hat.
Steampunk hat. That steampunk hat is awesome.
Got the steampunk hat and the handlebar mustache.
There you go.
And everything.
Sal says, I can't even imagine all the crap that Hitler kept hid. He was interested in the paranormal from what I understood. Yeah, they had teams that went everywhere looking for different artifacts. They at one point they even went after the Spear of Destiny. There's, the spear of Longinus, and he may have found a relic that was made to look like it. But I don't. I think the actual spear is probably in the hands of the Vatican.
Or certain characters who shall remain nameless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to get access to the Vatican archives.
Oh, yeah. The information that's down there would be astounding.
But can you imagine all the pieces of things, and that's some funky stuff.
All right, I've got ways that it's always when I'm doing a show that everybody that knows me has to text me.
You're just a sociable fella. Hey, Greg Price says that speaking of the Vatican, they're opening the archives.
Are they? Probably a limited section of the archives.
Yeah. Just the stuff that is no longer on OnlyFans.
That would be cool to be able to get access to the archives. I would say even if they do open them, you're going to have special credentials to get in there. They're not going to just allow any schmo that says, "Oh, hey, I'm here from Missouri. I'd kind of like to take a peek in the archives." They're going to go
right,
kick rocks, Hicks.
Yeah, you're going to have to be the real life equivalent of the Robert Langdons of the world, to be able to get in there.
You'd have to have scholarly contacts as well as credentials. Yeah, they're not gonna just allow. I'm with the Des Moines Inquirer. No.
Yeah. Hey, I'm D.A. Roberts. I'm an author, and I read the Da Vinci Code.
Get out. You're kidding me? If I showed up over there, they'd probably have the Swiss guards kick my ass all the way back down to St. Peter's Basilica.
We're not too happy about a couple of characters in one of your books, sir.
Get him! He's got a Thor's hammer around his neck. Beat him! Beat him!
He's had my force. Shoot him! I love it. It was funny. I was thinking about you the other day. I was watching a special on I think the show was called What on Earth, and it's on Science Channel, and it features like weird satellite images, and then they talk about these experts about what's in the image. And in Sweden, they found this really neat circular structure that had all these little rectangular cells within it, and they were going into the mythology about Ragnarok and how it applied to this structure. And they were talking about the significance of the number 9, because of the 9 realms that sprout off from Yggdrasil and everything. And they were saying that there was a ritual at one point that every 9 years they would sacrifice 9 men each day for 9 days. Mm-hmm. Is basically kind of a heading off Ragnarok and postpones Ragnarok another 9 years or whatever. And it was really interesting. And they were saying that this one little place was basically a ritual site, and the circular structure had 9 entrances and 81 cells in it. And this is where, in one of those sacrificial events, these people were sacrificed to, I guess, keep the universe happy. Yeah. But it was pretty interesting when they went into all the lore about Yggdrasil, and I thought it was really, really, really cool. Yeah, I do a little bit about some of the realms from, reading comics and reading some of the legends, but it was really cool. I got a kick out of it.
I wouldn't mind checking that out if you know where you can where I can find it.
Yeah, I'll see if I can track down the actual episode name, because I know they stream their shows. But yeah, it was neat.
Meg says the catacombs, I think in Italy would be interesting. I've seen and felt a lot of paranormal stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of places like the burial crypts under Paris. Those would be creepy to visit. There's a lot of places I'd love to be able to go and film, and I'm hoping it happens
Paris necropolis.
soon. Yeah. I was talking to Stephen Kinney, the zombie author from Glasgow, and he says that the necropolis in Glasgow is one of the creepiest places in the world to visit. Something along the lines of 50,000 people buried in the necropolis, and only 3,500 of them are marked.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. There in the necropolis there, people have been straight up attacked. Like if you take the ghost tour of the necropolis, they make you sign a waiver because people have been hurt by ghost attacks. By ghosts.
No.
Yeah, by ghosts. People have been shoved downstairs into crypts. People have come away with claw marks on them. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they say as hauntings go, the Glasgow necropolis is one of the most violent places you can go. Some really, really upset Scotsmen there.
Okay, but of course it's violent. They're Scottish.
Yeah. Nobody can hold a grudge like the Scots. They're still pissed about the Battle of Culloden.
People dead for centuries, and I'm still pissed off. Love it. See, you had me interested in going until the point where this dead shit was attacking you.
Yeah, there's lots of cases of it. Ronald said, "What's the worst kind of Bigfoot to come across?" In my opinion, the Gugway. I think the Gugway are just absolutely nasty. Pound for pound, there's I don't think there's any humanity there at all. They're animals. They're monsters. They're intelligent like a higher primate, but they're not going to reason with it. They call them, the Gugway means face eater, and they're just plain nasty. I would not want to meet up with one. In fact, I will bring up a picture of one. Give me just a second.
Yeah, you can keep your Gugway.
Yeah, they are pretty nasty. You find the right picture I'm looking for. Speaking of Bigfoot movies, if you haven't seen the movie Exists, that's a good one. It's one of the better Bigfoot movies I've watched. Most of the Bigfoot movies I've seen, like the movie Abominable, kind of cheesy. I mean, like in the movie Abominable, when it like picks the guy up and then opens its mouth and then opens it like this far, I'm like, all right, that just looks fake as hell. The plot line of Abominable was pretty good, but it was carried off kind of cheesy. However, Exists, that one's, even the creature looks really good and Exists. All right, I remembered the one I was looking for. Let me open this. Get a new tab. All right, let me share screen real fast. That is a prime example of a Gugway, and that's from the movie Primal Rage. If you haven't seen Primal Rage, one of my favorite Bigfoot movies. Not because of the acting. 5 minutes into it, I was rooting for the Bigfoot to kill the two main characters because I didn't like either of them. But the creature effects in this are just visually stunning, and it just absolutely shows the deviousness and the way these things act. I think
Primal Rage, is that the name of it?
It's called Primal Rage. If you have not watched it, I think if you've got Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free. I've watched it like 3 times now, and each time it's just the final fight scene, just fantastic. RJ says Gugway pick. Hell, you put a couple of potholders in that thing's hands and you got my mother-in-law to a T.
I was going to say, it reminds me a little bit of my ex-mother-in-law, but she would roll around in one of those little cart marts from Walmart. Nasty stuff.
Greg says, I've heard you can judge a Bigfoot by its eye shine. The red-eyed ones are nasty ones. I don't know that I would put a lot of stock in the eye shine theory, because eye shine can vary widely over animal to animal. It's called tapetum lucidum, and it only happens in nocturnal creatures. Humans do not reflect eye shine, but depending on their diet and angle of reflection, the eye shine can change color. So I wouldn't put a lot of stock in the color of the eye shine. But one of the things you want to definitely observe about the eye shine is distance apart of the eyes and how high they are off the ground. But tapetum lucidum can vary widely from animal to animal and species to species.
Hey, Wissa made an interesting comment. She said the Jinjin call that a Janti. I'm assuming I'm pronouncing it right, or Yanti, Janti, and they attack Bigfoot also.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, these things attack pretty much anything. The Gugway are just nasty. I would rather run into a dogman, an LBL, than run into one of these. Yeah, I'm sure either one will kill you just as dead. But most of the encounters I've heard about with dogmen can be driven off. You're only going to kill this thing. It will not stop coming until either you're dead or it is. And I do not want to run into a Gugway in the woods. If I go out someplace to film, and that'll look like a normal Bigfoot track, like the huge footprints that you see on a regular Bigfoot track you've seen 1,000 times on these shows. The only difference is these will be tipped with claws like a bear. There'll be claw imprints with the footprint. I see that, I'm wrapping up my filming and I'm getting the hell out of there.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that people mention eye shine in these Bigfoot sightings. I mean, right now the operating theory is that they're some kind of a primate.
Mm-hmm.
Primates don't have eye shine. Even the apes that do some night hunting don't have eye shine. So interesting.
Could have something to do with diet.
Could be.
Yeah, if you want to learn more about the eye shine, there's a lot of articles online you can read about it. Just Google tapetum lucidum, and it's pretty interesting. I mean, even deer species, it varies. It just depends on the animal, and you can see the same color eye shine across different species. So, just it depends on a lot of factors. It is weird that primates don't have eye shine. I know humans don't. Wisicon says red eyes are from a heavy fish diet. That's interesting. Lenita says they trust me. That's why I never took anyone but Todd standing there. I would love to go check that out. That would be awesome. Although Cam came to see me, I would love to check that out.
I haven't heard much from Todd Standing recently. Last I heard was a few years ago when he and Les Stroud were doing one of their hunts.
Les Stroud is one of those guys I would love to sit and have a beer with and pick his brain. Sal Paso says, I can see why you put.
Dude.
Yeah, he is really cool. Sal Paso says, I can see why you put in the Operation Lily story about the Eaters of the Dead. It's one thing when I started studying the story of Beowulf, which Eaters of the Dead is just a retelling of the Beowulf story. Just a quick recap for anybody that doesn't know the story, Michael Crichton, when he was in college, his roommate had to take a unit on I think it was English literature, and they were having to read Beowulf, and his roommate came in pissed off, and he slammed a copy of Beowulf down on the desk. He says, I hate this. This is stupid. There's no way you can make this story interesting. And Crichton went, okay. And that's when he wrote Eaters of the Dead, which later became known as the 13th Warrior. But in the old descriptions of Beowulf, they basically described the Grendel creature being very Bigfoot-like. And from the descriptions of it, I would lay odds it's more, because it ate people. It especially took the heads. And that's Gugway behavior from the get-go right there.
That's cool. Lenita said she's going to send Cam some pictures to send to you.
Awesome. Or if you want to, you can send them directly to me at my email address, which is daroberts@daroberts.net. So I would love to check those out. Anyway, I'll get big. I'll get big and ugly off the screen there and go back to even uglier. Well,
I was going
in
to
my
say,
case,
now you've got double the big and ugly.
yeah.
But I think if Alyssa would be out there, she'd be a good one to have on the show sometime.
Definitely.
I would love to hear what she has to do. It's just fascinating stuff. Like I told you before, DA, I want to believe in this stuff. The scientist in me makes me kind of a cryptid agnostic. I just want to see the evidence, but I'm totally ready to accept it. I just got to.
Apparently, National Geographic's on board.
Yeah, I just want to see. I just want to see something. The stories right here in Missouri, I take it with a grain of salt because it's always somebody that's hunting or fishing, and living in Missouri my entire life. Hunting and fishing usually involves large amounts of alcohol.
I never drank while hunting. I never did.
I've
drank at the deer camp. I've drank at the deer camp, but if I have a loaded firearm on me, I'm not drinking. Well, hell, when I would go to your house, when you and I would sit down to drink, we locked my gun up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just to me. I don't mix out firearms and alcohol. It's a recipe for unpleasantness.
Well, yeah, bad choices get made.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first Darwin Award ever issued to anybody, for removing themselves from the gene pool in spectacular fashion, was from a roadie with, I think it was actually Chicago, if I remember correctly. No, it was Terry Kath from Chicago. He was messing around with a Beretta at one of the roadies' house's party. And he was playing around with it, and he dropped the magazine in it and put the gun to his head and pulled the trigger. It's like, well, it's not loaded. Well, there was one in the pipe.
Yeah.
And unlike a lot of weapons, a Beretta will fire what's under the hammer when you drop the magazine. And he shot himself in the head. And brilliant artist taken off the grid at a young age.
Yeah.
So the Stephen Lilly story, I know it's on
it's on the Dixie Cryptid podcast.
Okay, so it's not in hard copy anywhere. It's
just something you can listen to. In fact, I will go retrieve that and drop the link.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to chase that down yet.
You definitely should check it out. It's been up for less than a week and has 44,000 views. I'm astounded.
Oh, God.
And I attribute that by largely to Cam because he's got a huge following. But to see that kind of response on one of my stories is it's awesome, and it thrills me to death that people are enjoying the story I wrote. Whether it's because they came for Cam's narration or not, it's still my story. So I have it's just a very, very proud moment for me. I'm pretty happy about it. I just posted that should go out to all the chats. If you haven't had a chance to listen to Operation Lily, check it out. Cam's narration is just fantastic.
Oh, I love his narration, and I haven't, for some reason, I've always managed to miss the podcast where he's on. Hey, Roger Peacock, just like, I love the little zombie animation.
I love that. That's the
amazing.
Default animation. I could have picked others. I'm like, why would I? I love that one.
I love the zombie.
Zombie's awesome.
Like Roger, we appreciate you, man.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
Drink for my friend here.
Tyler, thank you for chiming in there, brother. Love you too. Tyler Marshall and I were on the CERT team together when we worked for Greene County. I will kick a door with that guy any day of the week. I don't say that about a lot of people, but I would trust that guy to watch my back to my dying breath. Love you, brother. I do miss working with you. And you stay safe out there.
Oh, on a related note, Adam Huber says hi.
Adam, tell him I said hi. And hopefully they don't get up to too many hijinks without me.
Well, every Tuesday night, he is my guardian angel down at the urgent care.
Nice.
And he's a pretty neat dude. I get a kick out of him.
I like Adam. He was fun to work with. Sal Paso says, Cam is great, but anything with Team Odin is awesome. Only one problem, no embrace the suck. I didn't work that in that episode. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot to work in embrace the suck. Okay, I'll make it up. I'll make it up to you. I'll do it twice in the next one.
Yeah, poor Margolin.
Yeah, poor Margolin. He's going to get a code name in the next book too.
Oh, awesome!
I've
he like right now, isn't his combat call sign
Huntsman 2-6.
One of the numeric ones.
Yeah,
I was
Huntsman
gonna say
2-6.
he's like a. That's awesome.
What I'm thinking about doing is, for those of you that are in the Patreon community and part of the Discord, I'm going to start a group chat in the Discord. Probably, I might do it tonight. I might do it tomorrow, and I'm going to put up we'll just call it the final four ones. Possible code names for Margolin, and have you guys have me pick a good code name for him. So if you're in the Discord and the Patreon, watch for that. That should be popping up really soon. I'm definitely going to be putting out putting out the call for you guys to help out with that. I'll let you guys help choose what Margolin's code name is going to be. I'd originally thought I would just call him Loki, and I just don't think that fits. I'm going to save that for something else. But I've got a couple. I've got some good contenders, 4 or 5 of them that I'm going to put into the chat and have everybody comment on them, and we'll decide what everybody likes the most, and that'll become Margolin's code name.
I love it.
Lenny says, "We're his people. It was a great story to narrate. Yay, Cam. Ronald says half of those views are mine. You've watched it that many times? That's awesome, man. Thank you." And Sal says, "Hey, mine too." So you guys got 22,000 views a piece. That is freaking cool as heck. You guys have just been sitting at home hitting repeat.
You now have 2 fans.
But they're very, very loyal, apparently.
They're very loyal. They're going to be the ones that buy the really expensive Patreon.
Coming up very soon in the Patreon, because I've got 3 book projects running. We're going to be doing things, notice on the tiers of the Patreon that people can get involved in book titles, and coming up and deciding book covers. I'm at the 10,000 word mark in Lakeview Man 3. So Lakeview Man 3 is already coming along pretty well. I'm probably close to 5,000 to 6,000 words on Man's Marauders. And on the new fantasy project, we actually had a group chat about naming that. We came up with a really good name. It's going to be called the Blood and Redemption Trilogy. The first book is going to be called Heart of Iron, and Heart of Iron is at about 25,000 words. So I'm cooking along on multiple projects, and it's not going to be too terribly long before I want you guys to help decide covers and the next projects that'll happen after that.
Okay, I am forgetting the character's name, but the fellow that was Gray Eagle's partner at the beginning of the Apex Predator series,
Mike Blanchard.
Blanchard.
Mike Blanchard, that poor bastard.
Does he make an appearance in Lakeview 3?
He hasn't yet. He's been mentioned by name, but he's going to show up.
He completely cracks me up. I love that poor bastard.
Yeah. That dude has nearly died at every appearance. So he's a little gun shy about dealing with cryptids.
Well, it's funny. I picture him like showing up to talk to people and just like shaking and chain smoking.
He's the chief of detectives now for the department, so he doesn't take calls himself unless he has to.
Oh, love it.
Ronald says codename Dumbass. Yeah, if Valkyrie gets to pick, that's going to be Margolin's codename. She calls him that all the time.
I love it.
Ronald says, "So what do we do when we find a Bigfoot? If it's coming at you, get the hell out of there. If you're just observing it from a distance, try to get pictures if you can. Video is even better. But if you can find and document tracks or find something you definitively saw firsthand, like I saw it bump up against this tree and leave some fur behind, and you can document that you observed it, that's firsthand evidence and carries a lot more credibility than something you found on a tree. And this might be Bigfoot fur or hair. So if you observe it, that's witnessed That's visually, that's called chain of evidence when you deal with in law enforcement. You observe the evidence, you have collected the evidence, it has not left your hands. You've controlled the chain of evidence, and that gives your evidence a little more weight. But document. If you run across a Bigfoot, document everything you can. And if anybody ever runs across a body, don't call the cops. I'm not saying that the cops won't find out, but take as much video, pictures, call the press. And if you find a skeleton that looks like a human, call the cops. But if you find a 9-foot skeleton with a sagittal crest, call somebody to get it documented. Get the press out there, because then it's going to be much, much harder for them to bury it. I'm not going to say impossible, but
well, and calling a big university would be useful too. You get a hold of the biology department at Missouri State.
Mm-hmm. Get somebody with some little weight behind them to document it. Get a hold of Jeff Meldrum if you can. I'm connected with Jeff through Facebook. Not that he would ever answer me. I mean, I don't think he knows who I am. Tracy Robinson says, "Hey DA, a month or so back you were on with Cam. You mentioned a little town in Sleeper. That old store was run by my aunt. Chances are the old men that you shared a soda pop with were related to me. I used to go by that little store in Sleeper all the time, because I lived out off YY out of Lebanon. And it was nothing to hop on some of those back roads and just back roaded over to Sleeper. Really neat little area, and heard a lot of good stories. Dog's barking. I'm Lenore's barking at. It's Harley. He's probably barking to hear his head rattle.
Ours has been doing it too, off and on. Cora's vicious until you approach her.
Harley is a well-trained attack dog. He attacks naps. He attacks meals. And occasionally attacks a belly rub. I mean, he's a lover, not a fighter. That dog. But people talk about pit bulls and pit bull mixes being aggressive. There's not an aggressive bone in that dog's body. He's a big pansy. Love him to death, but he's more into naps and belly scratches than he is anything else. He does talk a big talk when the UPS guy gets there. The UPS guy knocks to drop off a package. He talks a big talk, but as soon as you open the door, he's going to mom.
I love it.
Oissa says Bigfoot also runs into rivers to escape fires. My mother's father in 1930 worked in Cali as a fire watch and ended up taking refuge in a river about 40 feet from a Bigfoot male about 10 feet tall. Yeah, that does not surprise me. If you've got a wildfire coming, get into a body of water. That makes perfect sense. If there's a large body of water nearby, I bet during those wildfires, I bet the island in the middle of Crater Lake became a refuge.
Oh, that would be cool.
I bet there was a lot out there, and probably not all of it friendly. That's really cool, Tracy, that your family ran the old little Sleeper store. Is that store still there? I haven't been to Sleeper in years. I need to drive through that area. I'd like to go up there and shoot some videos in some of those old places. Mm-hmm. There's a little town up by, it's out near Montreal, Missouri, and it's not a town, so to speak. It's right on the shores of Lake of the Ozarks. And my uncle and I used to go up there to fish. And I don't remember the name of the little town, but the city limit sign says, "Welcome to whatever it is. Population 7 people, 4 cats, and a dog." And it just cracks me up. Melissa says, "Needless to say, Grandpa waited for him to leave before he did." Well, I don't blame him. I don't blame him a bit. I don't know that I would have wanted to make direct eye contact or make any threatening moves either.
No.
Yeah, that could be very bad. Holy moly. We're over the 2-hour mark. I can't believe that. It's gone by pretty quick. I hope Josh gets to feeling better, and hopefully next time we have Naomi on, we got a better connection.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it sounds like Sounds like the wife and my middle son are back. They were gone for a while. Tracy says it burnt several years ago. Yeah, I spent a lot of time, but now we're on the low for bench. It burns.
Sure, right. Understand what they're saying there.
That's unfortunate that it burnt down. It was a neat little store. I haven't been through Sleeper in probably 10 years.
Yeah. You're talking about your Bigfoot gugways and whatnot. Could probably use some of these extensive cave systems as dens and whatnot. Can you imagine what could be potentially living in Merrimack caverns?
Yeah, those caverns are deep.
I was going to say they haven't explored most of that.
Yeah, they don't know how far back it goes.
Yeah.
Meg Mill says, my work night has been fun listening to y'all. Meg, well, you get some rest, and thank you for being here. And I'll try to make sure that the bot doesn't harass you anymore. I shut the bot down. Stupid bot. Yeah, says last weekend the fire was just on the other side of the ridge line under 2 miles away, and the nearest group didn't budge. Wonder if they knew something we didn't. Tracy says the old bench to set out in front of the old store where all the old men hung out. That would be. Do you have that bench? Hopefully it didn't burn. If you've got that bench and you don't want it, let me know. That would be just so cool to have. Somewhere I dig through my old pictures. I've got pictures of that store with my old pickup truck parked in front of it. And I had one of those old flat Kodak Instamatics that you, and then you click the next picture. And I had
one of those 110 millimeter camera.
Yeah, those 110 little film cassettes. I used to take pictures all over the place with that stupid thing. And my old Ford pickup is right in front of that little store. Yeah, I've got a picture of that somewhere. I've got to find it. That's awesome. I grew up running that area. If you go up the highway out of Sleeper away from I-44, that takes you out to Highway 5 up near Mike's Country Store. And Mike's Country Store used to be Pepper's, which that was when the mill behind it was owned by my Uncle Buddy and his brother Cecil. Uncle Buddy, it was the inspiration for Jay Matoska. Meg says, I'm working a lot more, 2 hours possibly. Well, good. It's good money when you got to work more hours. It's just, be safe and don't overdo it. And we hope you have a great night. And thank you for being here with us. We very much appreciated.
I definitely have heard some pretty cool stuff tonight.
Well, Lenita, thank you for being here.
Yeah, good night, Lenita.
Good night.
Thanks for your input.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. Now, what were you saying, Steve? I'm sorry.
Oh, I said it's been a really interesting night. I wasn't kind of sure where this was going to go. It's always fun to start a show with an agenda of discussing a particular cryptid encounter or something like that. And inevitably we go down a rabbit hole, and it's always fun to see what's in that tunnel.
Yeah, you just never know what we're going to talk about. The Port Chatham story just fascinates me. It's one of the places that's on my list of places that I dearly want to go and film. And I'm gonna hit a lot of the places here in the Midwest. I'm gonna get to Taylor, Mississippi, where the siege at Lockett Ranch took place. I've already been to LBL, and I'm planning on going back here for long. I would like to go up to the Beast of Bray Road up in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Then there's also the Michigan Dogman stories. I'd like to go up and look at that. There was some Wendigo sightings in northern Colorado. I would love to go check that out. Just a lot of stuff in this area. Right up there in Hannibal, Missouri, there's been a bunch of Dogman sightings. They're calling it the Werewolf of Hannibal. I want to go up and check that out. Now, we need to do some road trips, man. Some of these are not that far. I mean, Hannibal's what, 3 hours, 3.5?
Well, and I mean, if we take the Buick, we could do a show from the Buick because it's got Wi-Fi.
Oh, even better. And I've got my new dash cam.
Yeah,
it has audio.
I've got a 5G hotspot in the Buick. So
heck yeah,
it'll be fun.
So how does that work? Do you have to add that to your phone plan or?
No, actually, the Buick has its own phone number. It's a private number, basically. It's a secret number, but it has its own cellular connection through AT&T.
Nice.
And so, like,
Did
I
that
have a
come
Verizon
with the car, or?
Yeah, came with a car. It's actually the hardware obviously came with the vehicle, but the service is provided by OnStar.
Nice. So as long as
And
you maintain the OnStar, you get that.
Yep. So I maintain the OnStar and I get that, and I can keep the OnStar and cancel that if I want to. But I pay like $25 a month for unlimited Wi-Fi. And
dude, you can't beat that.
And what I like about it is it's the AT&T network. My wife and I have Verizon, and of course those are the two big carriers here where we live.
Yeah.
If one of them has a spotty signal, the other one's got a good one for the most part.
Yeah, we could stream live from your car. That would be awesome. Meg Mill says, I'm very blessed. My own business. Can listen to a lot of great shows, yours being one. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you liked the show, and I'm glad you're a part of it in the chat. You know, you're very active in the chat, and we appreciate that. You're awesome. Alyssa says, I figured they were checking on the firefighters' progress. The two I heard and saw eye shine from both came from the fire side of the ridgeline.
Wow.
They may be defending their guarding their territory until the end. Maybe they've got sick or injured that they can't move. That might be it, or they just refuse to leave their home. Says usually they come from opposite sides. Werewolf 5674 says, come on up to Hannibal. I'm coming, buddy. I'll be coming to Hannibal before long. It may not be this month, but it's going to be before too long. I want to go to Hannibal, and I want to go to Louisiana, Missouri, and try to film where the Momo the monster sightings were. But I'm definitely coming to Hannibal, and that hopefully is sooner than later.
Yeah.
Tracy said, yeah, my uncle's had all kinds of stories about strange things down on the Gasconade River and just east of Sleeper along the railroad tracks. The woods got pretty thick up there. Yeah, I heard some of the stories about seeing things walking along those tracks and down on the Gasconade. I floated the Gasconade many times. Had something scream at me from the bushes on the Gasconade River. Don't know what it was. I haven't heard. I was like 17, so I can't really completely describe the scream anymore. It's a long time ago. I mean, I'm 51 now, almost 52. That was 30 years ago. It was just a loud, shrill screech, and it wasn't a screech owl, and it wasn't a fox. It had a lot of power behind it. And I remember at the time, the only thing I was thinking was paddle faster.
Yeah, could have been a mountain lion, maybe.
It didn't sound like a mountain lion. It was.
Okay.
It sounded like it was coming from something with tremendous lung capacity because it lasted for about 25 seconds.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
just, and I was with a buddy of mine. He was in the front of the canoe, and I was in the back guiding, and he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I'm like, just paddle. And we're like, oh, getting the hell out of there. And that's all we could do was continue to float. But the Gasconade,
cool.
There are areas of the Gasconade where the woods are just so thick on both sides of the river.
Oh yeah.
Ronald says, "Where can you find a list of incidents with cryptids?" There are a lot of websites that have cryptid accounts documented. The GCBRO has a bunch. The BFRO has a bunch. If you just Google Bigfoot encounters or Dogman encounters, you'll find a dozen websites. And I cruise a lot of those same websites. But I also watch just about anything Bigfoot related I can find on Amazon Prime or any of the streaming services. I've combed my library and read every book they had on cryptids, and even all the books they could order. It's just a matter of finding it. There's another book. Naoma was talking about the other day. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Let me go to my Amazon account because I've got it. It's called Chasing American Monsters by Jason Offutt. That is a huge resource. There's a direct anecdotal accounts for more than 250 different types of creatures from all over the U.S. There's another book I've got on order I can't wait to get. It's called Tales of the Ozarks Howler by Sal Ashton. It's only $8.50 in print. Those are two books I'm adding to my personal library, but there are just a lot of books out there. There's a few books by a guy named Barton Nunnally. Barton knows his stuff when it comes to cryptids. He's got. There's one book in particular I'm trying to remember the name of. It's called The Inhumanoids, and that is a fantastic book. And those are available on Amazon as well. He's got 2 volumes of a book called Mysterious Kentucky, and there's some really good stuff about LBL in those books. So if any of the books you can find on Amazon by Barton Nunnally, that's Barton Nunnally, Nunnelly. Any of the books he's written are going to be good resources. The dude really knows his stuff when it comes to cryptids, and he's a great resource if you're wanting to research cryptids. I can compile a list of websites that I would recommend and try to put that in a blog entry so everybody can check that out. You can find my blog entries on my website, daroberts.net. So I'll try to get that up in the next few days. I'll compile a list of a lot of the sites I cruise. There's some really good cryptid accounts coming from a website that I found out of Alaska. It's by a cryptid research group in Alaska, and it's got some really good accounts. Some of the accounts in Alaska are really, really violent. And those would all make great stories. I have plans to do a Codename Wild Hunt book based on one of the Alaskan teams going to Port Chatham. And it's going to be kind of a simultaneous book where it's set in the present and the past. I'll do a chapter on the present team, and then the other chapter will be in like 1948 when the town was collapsing, and it'll be Jay Matoska leading a team in trying to do the investigation then. And the investigation now, they keep referring back to the old investigation to find out what's correlating. I think it's going to be a good story. So that one,
well, looks
look
like
for that one.
Stuart Knowles Way is signing off for us. I think he is in the UK, so it's
yes.
5 a.m. there.
Well, thank you for hanging out with us. You were one of the ones I got. You sent me your address already, so I'll get that out to you as soon as I can. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. So thanks for checking it out. RJ says the book sounds awesome. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I appreciate you guys tuning in, especially from staying up till 5 a.m. in the UK. So appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. Watch your mail. I'll be getting that to you very soon.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh, Wissa says below the ridgeline group there are 2 more small family groups. Figured food range invasion may cause problems. Maybe.
Well, just keep us posted on that. So that just sounds. I mean, it sounds weird, but I feel bad for the Bigfoot creatures.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's. I mean, as a scientist, as a biologist, you don't want any life to suffer, and if it's intelligent life like that, especially.
Yes, definitely.
Especially
I totally
if
agree.
they're an endangered population. I mean, these are remnants of some species that we're losing. That's horrible stuff.
I was answering like 6 messages that were popping up on my Facebook Messenger. Facebook user says, have you updated your writing and your writing projects list? I have not. I will get that list updated and have that to share with you guys. I will post it in the Discord. If you're a member of the Discord community, anybody can join the Discord community. The links have been popping up tonight. You don't have to be a member of the Patreon to be part of the Discord. But you get higher privileges within the Discord if you're in the Patreon. And I'll post it on the Patreon and I'll post it in the Discord. So hopefully you guys will check that out. I want to do more interaction on the Discord in the near future than on Facebook. And it's not that I dislike Facebook. I mean, Facebook is, I've got rapidly approaching 2,500 followers on my author page, which is awesome. But the problem with Facebook is they limit the number of people that see everything. and that just aggravates me. I'll post something and it goes out to less than a third of the people that have followed my page, and that's kind of aggravating. But if I post it in Discord, everybody that's a member finds out instantly. So I'll be adding that. I'll get that straightened out very, very soon, and we'll add that to the Discord. I might even put up a sample chapter or two of some of the new projects to see what anybody thinks.
Awesome.
Also, the Patreon, for the upper levels of the Patreon, I've got short stories that aren't available anywhere else that'll be posted for the Patreon. So I'll have those up soon as well. The Patreon is a lot of fun, but I suck at tech, so I've been learning one thing and doing that. Like I learned how to do a newsletter, and I sent that out. Now I'm trying to figure out how to do AMAs, and they ask me anything.
Can you post the Discord linking him? Default names, wanting it.
Yeah, that's RJ. Let me go to my Discord real quick. I will, Steve. Give me just a second. Buy me about 45 seconds here. I got to open my Discord.
So I think we've had an interesting path we've taken here tonight, and it's pretty cool to hear some of these encounters and some insight to how this all operates. And now I think DA, next thing to come out is going to be the Blunk Road, Lakeview 3.
The way it's looking, that's probably going to be the next one I finish. I was wanting to get the Man's Marauders done first, but that one's been a little slow going. It's not that I don't have anything to write on it. It's just that it seems more like, I don't know, when I sat down to write on the project, I get writer's block on it. I sat down to write on it and I just spin my wheels. And I hate that because I really want to get Man's Marauders done. I'm posting the Discord link in. If you guys want to join the Discord, it's free. Just sign up for Discord and join my community. That's a direct invitation to it. Again, members of the Patreon get higher levels within the Discord community and have access to some of the things like the Ask Me Anythings and the voting on covers and things like that. I did not dismiss your input. I went and got the Discord server for you.
Hey, RJ, I'm trying to help a brother out. I can't help it. He's a jerk. So the Man's Marauders. Now, I know it takes place in your sci-fi. So is it the same universe as the Infinite Black stuff?
Yes. In fact, you'll see some crossover from the characters there. Gotcha. In fact, in what I've written so far, Duncan Kane has already made an appearance.
Gotcha. See,
thanks for the Discord, Steve. I'm the one that went and got it, not Steve.
See, I still think we need to get Duncan to try a South Boston at the bar.
He needs to. We need to have Duncan do it.
Yeah. Of course, everybody needs a South Boston as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you want to describe a South Boston for everybody?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So they probably don't know what that is.
No, unless they've been fans of the show. No. So a South Boston is Steve's pub's version of a Manhattan cocktail. To make a South Boston, you take equal parts of Bushmills Black Bush and Gallows Sweet Vermouth and mix it together. And then it's served with a dash of Angostura orange bitters and a ice and a cherry for garnish. And so basically, a proper Manhattan is served neat or straight up with rye whiskey. So basically what you're doing is you're just subbing out the rye whiskey for Irish and putting it on the rocks. And it's a very addictive little cocktail. They go down way too smooth. And about 4 of them in, you realize that it was probably not a good idea. Fun little fact, a lot of the groundwork for Codename Wild Hunt was discussed over an obscene amount of South Boston.
A plethora of South Boston.
And a lot of the base work for the Gideon character, I think, came from that.
Yeah,
And
getting involved out of conversations with me and Steve. I knew I wanted to give the character an interesting background, and I wanted him to be a little more than meets the eye. And we were bouncing ideas, and Steve's like, "Ooh, what if?" I don't want to give it away for those who haven't
of
read the
course,
book. And when he said that, I was like, "Oh, that's perfect."
RJ does not approve of the South Boston. That's all right.
My favorite cocktail is an old fashioned. The South Bostons are great, but I like an old fashioned. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I recently discovered the casino in St. Louis, the Hollywood Casino. They have no freaking clue how to make an old fashioned. I
Get off
asked,
on that tangent again.
oh my God. I asked the guy before I even ordered it. I was like, "Do you know how to make an old fashioned?" "Well, yeah, sure." An old fashioned is the simplest cocktail to make. Um, I thought he was making someone else's drink when he started mixing mine, and I'm watching it. I'm like, please God, tell me he's making someone else's drink. He like put it in a cocktail shaker and was shaking it up and doing all kinds of stuff. When he handed it to me, it had salt around the ring. I'm like, have you even seen an old fashioned made before? He's like, I don't have all the ingredients. I'm like, well, there's oranges right there. There's bitters right there. You already approved you got ice and you got the whiskey. That's the ingredients. It's whiskey, bitters, simple syrup, and ice.
Yep.
There's no salt involved. Oh, it was horrible.
See, for those who don't know, DA takes his drinks very seriously.
Yes, I do.
I once took him to my favorite English pub here in town.
Great food, by the way.
Yeah, amazing food. Probably the second best shepherd's pie I've ever had. And DA attempted to order Guinness and discovered that they don't have it. And the look on his face basically said, "You just crapped in my glass." So it was priceless. I presume that the look that the bartender at the casino got. Huh?
How do you have an English pub without Guinness?
I don't know. I just thought it was funny watching your reaction because you're just like,
whoa, what? It never occurred to me. I mean, when you said it was an English pub, it never occurred to me they wouldn't have Guinness. Would you like a ginger stout that's brewed locally? No, I would not like a ginger stout. I want a Guinness.
Yeah. The Irish Reds they have aren't too bad, but yeah,
the Irish Red I ended up ordering was pretty good.
But yeah, I am so glad that the last place we ate was able to make an old fashioned properly for you. Because
Whiskey Tango's makes the best old fashioned I've had in a while.
I'm tempted one of these days when I'm up to actually drinking there. I'd like to see them try their hand at the South Boston and see what a professional bartender comes up with.
That would be pretty good.
Although looking at the bar behind you while I was talking to you, I was kind of scoping the alcohol selection. It looked like the only Irish whiskey they had was Jameson, so it might not end well. So.
Yeah, don't even scare my drink with Jameson, thanks. Rick Schaefer says, ordered a mint julep there, got a frozen grasshopper, same deal, ask if they knew what it was.
Oh, no. Now, Rick could probably make a wicked old-fashioned. He made a mint julep for me when we were living together. Oh, my God. Apparently, he has a recipe they use down at the Kentucky Derby.
Nice. I don't even care for mint, and I would try that. RJ says, Grey Goose straight from the freezer, drop a big crazy straw in the bottle, get in the truck unless you're going to scream every time we almost wreck. Typical Wednesday. 10 a.m.
Well, I now question RJ's judgment. I'm going to keep drinking my South Boston.
Well, he lives in Wyoming. It's not like there's any other traffic on the road he's going to hit. He might run into a buffalo.
We'll call it a buffalo. I have a buffalo.
That's funny. Grey Goose and a crazy straw. That's hilarious. I might have to steal that, RJ. I might have to have the Discover Margolin sitting in his underwear in the day room drinking Grey Goose through a crazy straw.
Oh, yeah.
Facebook user says, Steve, I was going to, so are you hearing the starting horn at the Derby?
Yeah, I was going to say, are you hearing the starter from the Derby? Yeah, the yeah.
Wissa says, I've noticed something that may be useful for other Bigfoot trackers. The smaller groups are easier to interact with. The larger the group, the pissier they act. Takes about a year for them to relax. And that's something that goes back to the Gugway. They travel in large groups. In fact, what I read is some accounts indicate that maybe as many as 20 in the group. That's a hell of a lot of Gugway.
Yeah, it's not cool.
I just said Margolin would love it.
I love it. That does sound like Margolin's drink of choice.
What are you doing? Drinking breakfast and watching cartoons? What are you doing?
Yeah. I love it.
I can completely see that.
That went downhill so fast. Yeah. Well, it's that what makes that even funnier is you got, Clark, drinking Macallan M and drinking Grey Goose with a crazy straw.
I doubt any of that Macallan M is left.
Oh, I bet not. If I had it, I don't know if it would be or not, honestly. I don't know if I'd be able to put it down, but then I'd also be scared to even open it.
Then again, he handed the bag to Command Sergeant Major Hammond. He may be hoarding it like dragon gold.
That sounds about right.
Ronald says, Steve, what are your cryptid fascinations? What's your favorite cryptids?
Oh, boy. I wasn't, I know it's going to be unpopular, but I wasn't that much into cryptids until I started reading DA's books, and now they scare the hell out of me. Honestly, the thing I find the scariest at this point, I think, are the Gugway. It never occurred to me that, sounds stupid, but the Bigfoot would be a carnivore. I had them in my head as kind of the Patterson-Gimlin kind of creatures, and I always pictured that they ate, plants, plants and berries and things like that. So the Gugway definitely causes me a little bit of a sleep disturbance at night for sure. But as far as like the weirdest cryptids I've read about, the stories I've read about the Mothman are scary as hell and just bizarre. And why is it a harbinger of doom? I mean, what is it about this creature? What does it know? Where is it from? Yeah, definitely would like to see more of that.
One of the things I read about the Mothman suggested that it was a Native American death omen.
It makes sense.
Well, I know in Cheyenne, I believe, I know for sure in Cheyenne, pretty sure it's in Lakota and in the Dakota. And I know that the Cherokee also feel this way, but they've always seen owls as death omens. And the Mothman just kind of reminds me of a humanoid owl, like a death spirit.
Yeah. Well, that would make sense. I mean, I just think it's really interesting how the Native Americans from all these unrelated tribes all have the same kind of stories. Too much. Hey, how's it going there, General?
Welcome, General. How you doing?
Well, you guys gonna flip me the bird for sure.
Uh-oh. I might flip you the bird for fun.
What are you eating there? Is that a bowl of cereal?
Oh, you talking about that? That's potato soup.
Oh, potato soup. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, he's got steak and fries
with a crazy straw.
He's gonna be drinking Bushmills Black through a crazy straw.
Yeah, straight out of the bottle. It's funny, when I went to the liquor store trying to get that scotch that I was looking for, and they were all out of it. Mm-hmm. I just kind of shook my head in disgust, walked over, grabbed a bottle of Black Bush, and walked out with it.
Nice. Denise Snyder says, "Good evening. I've heard more about the different Bigfoot since I started listening to DA than I have in all my life. Well, stick around. I'm hoping to have it done for next week's show. I'm not going to put the link up for next Saturday's show until I've got it verified for sure. But I've already been making my notes. I want to do my show on the different types of Bigfoot. And it's going to be different than Matt Squatches. I'm not going to label them type 1, type 2, type 3. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to call the type what it is. Like type 1, the Patterson-Gimlin Bigfoot, the North Pacific Northwest, because there are different variations in the way they look and are described, and different variations in temperament all over the United States. Plus, there are others from other parts of the world that Matt Squatch didn't include. I will not be including the devil monkeys, the puckwudgies, or the mountain giants as part of my Bigfoot list, because I think they're separate creatures. And I at some point I'll probably do an individual show on each of them. The puckwudgies are the one that kind of creep me out. They're devious little bastards. So we'll go into them more. They're definitely malicious.
The puckwudgies are spooky little bitey bastards.
Yeah, and they lure people off into the woods and the swamps by calling their name. Good rule of thumb: if I'm walking near a swamp and I hear somebody go, "Hey, Doug, come on back here," I'm like, "Screw you, come to me." I'm not coming back there.
Sweet. Well, when you guys were talking last week about the puckwudgies, I had never heard of them, and of course, you guys managed to cause me a lot more sleep disturbance than I normally have, I was, listening to that stuff, and then I was reading an anthology of stories of the Predator that some of the big horror writers, Jonathan Maybury and Joe McKinney and some of these folks put in, and I forgot that the Predators do that mimic the voice back at you stuff, which makes the puckwudgies even scarier. Yeah, it's like, I want some creepy shit parroting back at me.
No kidding.
I think it's scary when birds do that. I was at Grant's Farm in St. Louis, and Anheuser-Busch and the Bush family owns the place up there, and so they have this beer garden, a barring house, in the middle of the place, and of course, once I got of age,
they also have wonderful bratwurst there. Oh, their brats are so good.
They have free beer, and the bratwurst is amazing. So I was all in once I was old enough to consume it, and there's nothing worse than sitting there, 3 bratwurst and a 6-pack in, and the little caged mynah birds that they have there start talking to you.
That'll creep you out.
They had to move the mynah birds.
The horses.
Well, they had to move the mynah birds from the regular display because people taught them to cuss.
Of course.
And so somebody had taught the birds to say "have a bud," and so you hear them, have a bud, and so you go up and try to look at the bird, and the bird will just sit there, tilt its head at you, and it'll make this weird boo sound, and that you just basically play stupid. And then when you walk away, it cusses you out. And I don't know if it was just the alcohol or the annoyance of the fact that it was a bird speaking in human speech, but it was it was a little bit much to handle.
That's hilarious. Denise Snyder says, "Can't wait." Talking about the Bigfoot show, that's coming up very soon. And my interpretation is probably going to be closer to 14 varieties, because I'm not going to just include the ones in the United States. I'm going to include things like the Yeti, the Yeren, the Yowie, the Alma, the Almasty, Bigfoot's the Gray Man from Scotland. I'm going to include all of those as types of Bigfoot creatures, because that's what they are. Ronald says, "You guys suck. Now I'm hooked. I'm planning trips now." Awesome. If you're anywhere in my near area, we'll hook up and get some coffee. Compare notes.
DA and his coffee.
Roommate
may
have an ounce or two of coffee available.
Might just a sip or two. And I have found that I absolutely love my percolator. My Mr. Coffee did not make coffee anywhere near as good as that percolator. That percolator makes wonderful coffee. It's almost as good as my old campfire coffee pot. Not quite, but almost as good.
What's funny is the coffee aficionados say that the absolute worst way to make coffee is in a percolator.
Well, mine makes a damn good cup of coffee. They say the French press is the best way to do it.
Yeah.
I've never had a French press. But I can tell you, a percolator beats a Mr. Coffee hands down any day of the week. Makes a pretty damn fine cup of coffee.
Probably don't lose some of the taste in there.
Mm-mm.
Well, I know when I first had Black Rifle, Rick Olshafer came to my parents' house. I think it was for my wedding or something, and he brought some Black Rifle and his French press, and he kept making it for my dad. Now, my dad will literally drink coffee all day long.
My
and
sister
Dad
Becky
is,
will too.
Dad is so into his coffee that he will buy those little Folgers packets that look like tea bags, and he'll just keep throwing them into his cup. Now, I've had some of those little Folgers packets. Personally, as far as coffee is concerned, they taste like crap. Even though I love Folgers, but Dad was totally amazed by the French press, and Mom told him he couldn't have one.
I would try it. I mean, if somebody around here makes French press coffee, I would try it. If I liked it, I'd get one. But it's going to be tough to beat my percolator. I really like that. Joe ABN says, DA, have you seen any of the reports on the trails south of Noblet Lake in Howell County? No, I have not. Joe, if you don't mind, I would love for you to get in touch with me. You can use my DA Roberts at daroberts.net email address, or if you got me on Facebook, you can message me through my author page, or direct message me through my Facebook page. It's just DA Roberts on both of them, DA Roberts author. If you've got any information, what's that?
Look at RJ's last post.
RJ, God, that's hilarious.
I wasn't sure if I could read it on the air, so I
Howell County's not too far from here, though. So, Joe, if you've got some sighting reports down in Howell County, hit me up in my email, and maybe I can get down that way. That's not that far a drive. Ronald says, I got to try Mississippi cold drip. It's awesome. I would definitely like to try that. I'm a coffee guy. I'll drink coffee 9 ways from Sunday.
Just not Death Wish.
That Death Wish coffee is not good if you have high blood pressure. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
My pupils dilated not in sequence. I brewed a pot of that Death Wish coffee, and I just took a big gulp like I normally do my coffee. My wife tells me I have an asbestos mouth because hot things don't bother me. I mean, she's like blowing on fried chicken, and I'm already on my second piece.
Well, you also have an AB block, which is wonderful for your heart. Yeah. That'll either jumpstart it or shut it down, one of the two.
Well, when I drank that Death Wish coffee, I just took a big old drink of it. I'm like, hey, that's pretty strong, but it's not bad. Took another drink. By the time I was halfway through that first cup of coffee, it was like one pupil went boing, and the other went boing. I'm like, I'm having a heart attack. I think I'm having a heart attack.
You were doing like talking about from Peter Pan with the clock. Ding, 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 ding.
I was seeing colors. I mean, colors that don't normally exist.
Yeah. You invented colors.
Yeah. I could see sound waves. It was like that squirrel on Over the Hedge when they gave the super fast squirrel, when they gave him coffee, and he was like, and the entire world just seemed to freeze, and he was like, and he was just
like
moving.
Yeah, like Quicksilver in the Marvel.
Yeah, like Quicksilver in Marvel. He's like looking at people, readjusted, moving bullets. That's how I felt for about an hour. And when I finally calmed down, I'm like, I am never drinking that uncut again.
I remember when the wife and I were watching Justice League for the first time, the original cut of Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
We're both comic book nuts, and one would argue it's not a great film, but it's the DC guys. It's cool. And there's a scene where the Flash goes into one of his Speed Force attacks against Superman. And
I know the scene you're talking about.
And of course, Superman can move as fast as he can. And so the Flash is running around, and you see Superman kind of turn over, make eye contact with him, and you see the look on the Flash's face like, oh crap.
Oh no.
I remember we laughed so hard. We had a full theater. We didn't see it opening night, but the fans were on their second or third round through the film, and she and I started laughing, and no one else laughed. We were just cracking up, and they're just kind of looking at us like, "What is with these guys?" But
that's funny. That is a good scene. That scene where Superman just kind of looks over at him, and you can see Flash go, "Oh no." Papa Bear says, I think Longfellow mentioned the Pukwudgie. That's cool. I did not know that. I might have to look for that reference. The Pukwudgies are nasty. Meg says, does Black Rifle have different roasts? Do I just type the name in to get info? Yeah, I think it's blackriflecoffeecompany.com or brcc.com, one of the two. But just Google Black Rifle Coffee, and you can go to the website. They got tons of different roasts. I prefer dark roasts. Those are my favorite. I like the darker roasts. But they've got some great coffee and other great coffee companies here in Springfield, Missouri. It's called Got Your Six Coffee, GOTYOURSIX, GotYourSix.com. They make fantastic coffee. Their dark roast is awesome. I actually like theirs better than Black Rifle, to be honest.
Yeah, Blackout Coffee is another veteran-owned company. They're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Of the Black Rifle mixes, Meg, I err on a little bit lighter coffee than DA does. They've got a mix there called AK, which is more of a medium roast, and that is my favorite. And if you have a Keurig type machine that's got the coffee pods, you can get I think they call it a mission pack, but it's like a mix of 4 different blends of K-cups. They're light roast, 2 of the mediums, and the Beyond Black that DA likes to drink. And it's a fair price. It's nice. I think you get like 48 cups for $50 or something like that. But it's pretty darn good. Let you sample it before you invest in a lot of loose coffee.
Right. Well, Got Your Six Coffee. They're fairly reasonably priced, and they've got light, medium, and dark roast. Just check out gotyoursix.com, gotyoursixcoffee.com. I just posted it in the chat link. Tell them DA sent you. I've had several of their coffees, and they're all good.
Now, Steve, reason why I like Just the Black, because I get the jumbo pack and send it to him.
Yeah, I happen to see a picture of about 10 pounds of coffee at DA's house. I'm like, oh hell.
Well, there's a lot
Dalton's
less of it now.
Got something to do with that.
There's a lot less of it now. I've been banging through it. I'm about to. I was going to post a picture of me holding the empty bag and in mourning, like,
Sad face.
Yeah, sad face with the empty bag. Denise Snyder says, when you hear colors and see sound, you know the coffee is good. Yeah, not when you've got high blood pressure. Yeah, I thought I was gonna die. I'm like Dalton's trying to freaking murder me.
But you got to watch it that you drink it before it eats the cup. That's always an important thing to remember with your coffee.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, Death Wish coffee it's like a defibrillator for coffee drinkers. Like, clear.
Yeah, isn't Jonathan Hilbrandt from Deadliest Catch, isn't he part owner in Death Wish?
I think he is. Papa Bear says that it's in Song of Hiawatha by Longfellow. So I will look that up. I did not know that. Alyssa says they use stone tools and are far smarter than the black and brown haired I have tracked. Well, that's good to know. The Gugway are known tool users. Those are nasty monsters.
You said Johnson Hillstrap. Which boat is that again?
The Time Bandit.
Oh God, no wonder the damn shit's so strong.
Yeah, Hillstrand of the Time Bandit. Yeah, I think his name was Hillstrand. Yeah, Hillstrand of the Time Bandit. Yeah.
No wonder that damn dude's crazy as a shithouse rat.
Yeah, that is strong coffee.
He's a mess. I quit using a styrofoam cup with a coffee at work because it was starting to eat the cups.
Yeah, Bill Sloan says, Meg, Black Rifle has a lot of different types of coffee. If you live close to a Bass Pro Shop, they should have a large selection. I live on Folgers, and the BRCC equivalent is just black. Then Ronald says, how do you tell if you're saying something or if you see something you want to see? One thing that I'm always skeptical about when it comes to pictures and sightings is, and I'm not knocking anybody that's done this, don't take it the wrong way. It's just my own personal experience is somebody will take a picture of a shrub and then like put 4 or 5 red circles on it, and they'll blow and enhance an area up and say that they saw something in there in that area. And I'm not saying they didn't, but there is such a thing called pareidolia. And pareidolia basically is the human mind looking for patterns that it recognizes. And it occurs in all of us. You can pick a pattern out of something when there's nothing really there. It could be leaf backgrounds. It can be a lot of things. So obscured pictures through multiple layers of bushes that people have pointed out shapes out of. I don't put a lot of stock in those because there's a high chance it's probably just pareidolia. Pictures in the open, when you can get definitive shapes, now that's something else entirely. But be careful of pareidolia because your mind will look for shapes that you're looking that you want to see.
Are they laced, DA?
What's that?
The lace coffee?
Are they laced doilies?
Oh Lord!
Not that kind of doily.
Oh Lord!
Go back to your knitting there, General.
Oh Lord!
Meg Mills says, Steve, thank you. I do not have a Keurig, but I'll check it out. Sal says, when you put the spoon in and it melts, that's a good cup of coffee. That was the coffee from Ragnarok Rising. That was basically a friend of mine that was a corrections officer, taught me pretty much everything I ever, one of the guys that taught me more than just pretty much anybody about being a corrections officer was a guy named Andy Hammer. Andy passed earlier this year. He was on his way to work. And I was riding his motorcycle and a vehicle failed to stop at a stop sign and killed him.
I'm sorry to hear that, Dave.
The dear friend of mine. In fact, if you look in the front of, I believe it's Codename Wild Hunt Operation Blood Eagle, there's a dedication in the front of it for Andy. Hell of a guy. Made the strongest coffee I've ever had. We used to cut it with
booking coffee, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the booking sludge. That was Andy Hammer. We used to refer to it as the booking sludge, but it would keep you awake. And we used to joke that you didn't drink it so much as it marched down your throat under its own power. You didn't come in levels of grind. It came in weight like motor oil.
And if it didn't kill you, it could cure rabies, scabies, HIV, anything you wanted to kill with it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll survive anything now that thing's his coffee's purged my bloodstream.
Hey, DA.
Andy, I'll see you in Valhalla, brother.
DA, would you say if somebody was asleep and you poured it down the throat, they would start moving like one of them Disney wake-up scenes?
I kind of wonder if that coffee wouldn't start the zombie apocalypse. It would wake up a corpse.
The first turns are all going to be corrections officers that have died in the line of duty.
Meg Mill says, Steve may have to go get another Keurig. I don't think Keurigs make as good a coffee as a regular coffee maker, but that's just me.
Yeah, they really don't. But in my household, I'm the only coffee drinker. And so unless I'm, I found it with like a Mr. Coffee, if you try to make a very small pot, it doesn't come out very well. You either make 8 or more cups or it ain't worth even trying. And so the Keurig lets me have my 1 or 2 cup fix without wasting the coffee. But yeah, you're right. Aside from the fact that coffee inside a Keurig cup will last like 10 years, it serves no purpose. It's not good coffee, but
it's good for if you need a quick cup of coffee.
Exactly. If you're not willing to wait for a good cup of coffee and you're only going to want 1 cup. I'm a nurse. My definition of coffee is much more liberal than most people. Nurses and cops. I
generally drink it by cups this size and usually drink 2 or 3. I mean, I'll kill a coffee pot by myself. And I'm a recovering caffeine addict. I'm down from 3 pots a day to just 2 most days.
Steve, are you saying you take IVs of coffee at work?
There are times, if you use a nice 18 gauge IV Castellan, the grounds will go right through. So you get a little stronger mix. So.
Okay, catch a few of these up. Steve may have to get another Keurig. I read that one. Bill, thanks. We'll check them out. That was Meg. Meg Mill says, so sorry, DA, for your loss. Thank you. Andy was a hell of a guy. I miss him dearly. Hell of a dude. Bob Antonelli. Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
How you doing, Bob? Bob's a good dude. I miss working with Bob. Bob was a crap magnet, though. Anytime I would go to a floor, if Bob was there, something was going to happen.
Sounds about right.
What's it says? I have a picture of family group I took in March of 2009. I was 120 feet away, a baby in clear view with mom, dad, and brother within 10 feet of them. I would love to see that picture if you don't mind sharing it. I won't post it anywhere if you don't want me to, nothing like that, but I would just love to see it. Meg says, be back shortly. Denise says, our mama fed me coffee soak when I was about 3. Ask Naoma about mama's coffee sometime. my uncle, God bless him, made with my Uncle Cecil. It was my mother's brother. Uncle Cecil made Uncle Cecil's River Coffee. And Uncle Cecil's River Coffee would keep you up at night. Uncle Cecil would take this old battered metal coffee pot over to the river, scoop it down into the river water, dump the grounds directly in it, throw it on the fire. I've gotten minnows in my cup of coffee. I've gotten leaves, sticks, but you just pick it out, and that's half the adventure. Pick it out of your coffee and go ahead and drink it. Bill Sloan. Oh, Bill Sloan. Hey. I love you, brother. You said Kent Rollins has a video showing how to make cowboy coffee. I know someone that was lucky enough to have some, and they said it was the best they ever had. That's exactly how I make my coffee. I make my coffee the same way as Kent Rollins did. When I watched that video, I'm like, that's my campfire coffee right there. Although I have another ingredient I put in it in the books. If you've read the Apex Predator books, the running joke is they want to know how grandfather makes his coffee. Well, that's how I make my coffee. And he was going to tell us how you made the coffee. Yeah, I'll tell you one of these days, but it's not today.
DA, I'm going on the 3-hour mark with about 3 hours sleep, so I'm going to drop off here and let you and Dalton fund the campaign here.
All right, brother.
And
thank you for being on.
Sorry, I can't say I am dying on my feet. So.
All right, man. Get some rest.
Forth, gentlemen.
Later, brother.
Later.
Man, I've ran everybody off, and you just got here. Ronald says that's Army coffee. Alaskan says pic is 13 megapixels, no zoom. Well, I still wouldn't mind seeing it. Sal says good night, Steve.
Y'all tell Ronald about your first sergeant's coffee. That's some damn shit.
God, like my first sergeant in the Army, this dude, he had his own coffee pot. Nobody drank out of it, and it was a Mr. Coffee, and he would put a couple of filters in there, and he would put 6 these big heaping scoops of coffee. It was almost level with the top. I mean, there was a lot of coffee in it, and he would drink it. He would brew his coffee that way. And it came out as black as pitch. I mean, it looked like tar. And then when it was done, he would dump those filters with the coffee in it, put fresh filters in it, add 6 more scoops of coffee, then run that same coffee back through it. Oh my God. I got a cup of his coffee one time by mistake because the other one was empty. I'm like, oh, how bad could it be? I was like scraping my tongue with my toothbrush trying to get it was horrible. But,
what about the caffeine intake?
Oh, the caffeine intake was almost fatal. Thank God I was 19 years old and in the prime of my life. My heart could handle it then. Probably kill me now.
Wait, would you say it was as strong as Death Wish?
Well,
give it a good run for the damn money.
I would say it's a close contest. That Death Wish, that about wiped me out.
Just think if your sergeant used that.
Oh God, he'd have killed us or himself.
Medic, we need a medic in here. The sergeant's heart exploded.
I don't know what happened. Take a drink of coffee and clutched his chest and fell over. Bill says my mom's in her 80s and adds 1 scoop of coffee per cup. That's a lot of coffee. That'll do the trick. I was hoping to hand it off to Bender Nagel, but he passed before I could get it to him. I need to replace my PC jammed with over 2,800 tracking photos. Soon I could share it with you. Awesome. Just let me know. I'd love to see it.
Do I sound better with it, Melon, or is it about the same as what it was on StreamYard, DA?
It sounds a lot better here on Melon than it did on StreamYard. We got a lot of feedback and like crackling from your mic, and it cut in and out. It seems to be working a lot better here on Melon. Melon's a little glitchy. I'm still learning some of the tricks to it, but I still like Melon better. It's got some things that you can't do on StreamYard. I like the alerts in the middle of the screen with the little zombie guy that tells me every time somebody likes something. Sal says, DA, I don't remember. Did you ever refill grandfather's coffee recipe? No, I have not. And I will not. However, if we can organize what I would like to do is organize a camp out and take over a campground, maybe down by the Niagara River where Apex Predator took place, or maybe Ants Creek, which is just down the river, just down the lake from Joe Bald. Maybe, arrange to have a big camp out and have a bunch of people there and tell ghost stories and creepy stories over a fire. I would love to do something like that, and I'd be more than happy to make coffee for everybody, but I'm not going to tell you what's in it. But it's good coffee.
Is a secret?
Now you froze up.
Is a secret recipe?
What's that?
I says a secret recipe whiskey.
No, it is not. It is not whiskey. No whiskey involved. My grandfather said to drink your whiskey like you drink your coffee, straight up the way God intended it.
Oh, so like me draining it straight out of the bottle.
Pretty much, yeah. Wissa says the last pic I took with that camera was of a horse that Bigfoot had broken the neck of. I've heard of stuff like that. Also, one of the stranger things I hear about Bigfoot involving horses is braiding their manes. I've heard a couple of theories on why that happens, and one of them's kind of really, kind of sick. But I would like to know why Bigfoot braid horses' manes, because it seems to be common and it happens all over the United States. I've never actually firsthand seen it, but it does apparently happen. There's a lot of pictures of it out there on the net and a lot of accounts. And they used to call them witch braids. The old timers used to refer to them as witch braids because they'd come out and find their horses had braids in their mane. And some people tried to say it was the way horses rubbed up against stuff, and that's not it. They might rub burrs into their hair, into their manes and tails. They might even rub tangles into them, but you're not going to rub a braid into something. That just doesn't happen. That's deliberate. Meg Mill says my mom drank black coffee. Black coffee. My mother did too. Well, my mom took her coffee pretty serious. Flyby Stu says, thanks, Mr. Roberts, for your input on Dixie Cryptid and Steve Lilly. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the story. I love working with Cam, so there'll be more stories in the future coming up with Cam.
I can't wait for him to hit Wild Hunt.
Yeah, he's going to do his own Steve Lilly story that involves some of the guys from the Wild Hunt, and I've got a Operation Lily Part 2 in the works. I haven't titled it yet, so we'll for right now call it Operation Lily Part 2. That'll happen probably sometime in the next month or so, depending on how my writing schedule frees up. I've got some unpublished that have never been published anywhere else, short stories that I'm going to be posting for the Patreon supporters. So be looking for those. Those will probably go up tomorrow. I'm probably going to put up a couple now and then one a month, or maybe even 2 a month, depending on how they go. But I do like writing short stories once in a while. I think these will go over pretty good. And that's just kind of a thank you for the Patreon supporters. They'll get to check out some stuff that doesn't get released to the general public. But after some time on the Patreon, I may compile them all into an anthology and release them that way for anyone to get. But for now, they'll just be on the Patreon.
Well, I was just referring to, you were just going to have Steve do the Wild Hunt audio. That's all.
Oh yeah. He's going to be starting those sometime. I think sometime in September. Let's see. Ronald says, when you went to the Joe Bald area, why didn't the boys press farther into the woods? They only went back so far because of all the spiders. We weren't really there prepared to go hiking. None of us were dressed for it. In fact, my son was there, and he'd just gotten off work, and he works for Men's Warehouse, and he was wearing pretty formal clothing and loafers, and he wasn't going to go hiking in loafers. And I really can't go hiking. I mean, I was using my cane, so I went back about as far as I dared. But I do want to go back there, and I would like to go back there where a little more prepared next time. Not a real great idea to go hiking in the Missouri woods in summertime at night anyway. This is copperhead season, and the spiders are thick as thieves out there, and hiking in the woods is kind of a dangerous thing at night, especially in an area that's overgrown like that. and when you're dealing with a possible unknown cryptid. So, I think the foray we did was pretty good, but I would like to go someplace where I can plan an overnight foray because we can't camp in Joe Bald anymore. Okay, I'm trying to catch up with some of these because I got behind. Denise Snyder says, mine get witches knots in their mainstream and never any braids. Meg says, I just bought Lakeview Man 2 and then going to Apex Books, bought first one. Awesome. You're going to see a lot of familiar characters that have crossed over. So I don't want to spoil anything, but you're gonna when you start reading the Apex, you're gonna learn some of the crossover characters and their backstories.
Or
What's
like
that?
ping pong match.
Flyby Stu says, can't wait. Top Man Cam, one of the better channels. Thanks again. Yeah, I love Cam's channel. He's by hands down my favorite of the cryptid channels, and I've listened to a bunch of them. Tracy says, hey, DA, have you heard about the guy that Scott, the YouTube channel, talking about deer bone pile down by the Current River? No, I have not. If you've got a link to that, could you send that to me, like at my on my email address or through Facebook Messenger, one of the two? I will definitely check that out. The Current River's not far from here. I would go check that out in person if I could find it. Alyssa says, the red one I know has long hair on its head like we do. His mate braids it in a single braid and back. Might have something to do with the horsehair braiding. Maybe. She says, when I was younger, his skin was pale like ours. Now it's gray. I'm sure at different stages in their life, they all go through. I mean, like, look how gorillas don't really become silverbacks until they reach a certain age. Oh, Rick Olsheffer just subscribed. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it, brother. RJ says, Awissa, any idea how long they live? Yeah, I'd be interested to know that too. I don't know what the life cycle is. Primates, gorillas live to be pretty old. I think, 40, 50 years old, maybe even 60. Let me Google that real quick. How long do gorillas live? If I could spell gorilla, that would help.
What do you mean somebody subscribed to? You mean Patreon, or what do you mean by that one?
When it pops up on the screen like that, when you saw that, they subscribed to the YouTube channel.
Okay, I must have missed that.
Yeah, it doesn't alert for the Patreon. It alerts for the YouTube channel. Then he says, doing the night chores, we look like we're kung fu fighting because of all the spider webs. Yeah, I hate spiders. And I'm telling you, some of those spiders that were hanging between the trees out at Joe Bald were big enough, it probably would have been easier to shoot them. The bodies were like this big around. They weren't tarantulas. They were like orb spiders, but huge. I would have gone back there with a tennis racket and you'd hear it go twang as you smacked them. They were big. And Josh is deathly afraid of spiders, so he wasn't going back there. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to walk face first into a spider web and felt something with legs as big as my cheek skittering across my face. I probably really would have had a heart attack. I don't like spiders. What's that?
Well, I don't know what they officially called it. They had World War II. They put like a piece of angle iron on the front of Willie's Jeeps and had it going up so German razor wire wouldn't decapitate them as they're going down the road.
That's dangerous. That would be a horrible way to go. I hadn't heard of that. That's nasty.
I don't know if they were mainstream or not, but they'd weld like a piece of angle iron up on the front of the Willie's Jeeps, so that they'd strung wire across the road wouldn't.
Let's let the tanks go first.
You mean the torches?
Do what?
Sherman tank torch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let them go first. If it's strung at head level on a Jeep, it's going to get twanged like a banjo string by that tank.
But I think that was more the saboteur end of things.
Yeah. Yeah, the nasty tricks division, I suppose. Wissaconsin says he was about 40 in 2009, but Jin Jin is still alive, and she is 62 this year, just starting to go gray. That's good to know. And I mean, that's like human level lifespans. And it said gorillas live 35 to 40 years in the wild.
What about optimal in captivity?
Probably the high side of 40, probably somewhere in that area. I would say the low end is probably, without veterinary care, and the higher end is probably with. The article didn't say.
A damn Galapagos tortoise.
Yeah, those things will live forever. Did you see that video? It was floating around Facebook. This girl got a terrapin. She's like, I'm gonna rescue it, and throws it in the water. And I'm like, lady, that's a land turtle. It can't swim. And then somebody called her out on it, like just basically murdered a turtle. Yeah, it's a good rule of thumb with wildlife. It's probably better off if you just leave it the heck alone. And, the animals out there don't need us to save them. Now, grabbing a turtle and getting it out of the road is probably a good thing to do. But by and large, they don't need our help to survive. Denise says, I was bitten in the neck by a brown recluse in July. It looked like smuggling a golf ball in my neck. I got bit in the thigh by one year. I was wearing shorts, and it bit me just above the knee, and it swelled up and turned black. And I, like an idiot, I just took care of it myself. I took an X-Acto knife and sliced it open, squeezed all the goop out of it, cleaned it out with hydrogen peroxide, and packed it and bandaged it. And like every few days, I would just repeat that process, slice it open again, squeeze the crap out of it, boil it out. It finally went away. I don't even really have much of a scar. Yeah, RJ says don't drown turtles, folks. Yeah, terrapins and turtles don't live in the water. Those are a specific type of turtle that live in the water.
They live on the highways.
Yeah, they're road pizzas along the highway.
I'm sorry, that was just big.
What, road pizzas? When we were at LBL, on the side where our condo was, there were all kinds of aquatic turtles. I mean, we saw them down there constantly, but over by LBL, even in the water, I didn't see anything. LBL still kind of freaks me out. I've never been in a place for that long and not seen an animal.
Pacific North End, DA?
Yes, I was all over the North End.
I was going to say, was a marked difference between areas like middle part, then as soon as you cross X point, it's just like.
Once you cross the canal from Grand Rivers into the north end of LBL, there is nothing. No animals, no animal sounds. Never saw a deer, never saw roadkill. I did not go down into central and southern LBL because those are areas that they don't report dogman sightings in. So I stayed I contained my search areas in the north end of LBL looking for that old campground.
Right. I was just wondering if just like what's what I'm trying to say. Define your scientific hypothesis to saying there's no animal life, because I was here, then I went 50 feet down the road, and it was a remarkable difference.
Oh, there was a huge difference just across the canal. There's a bridge that connects Grand Rivers with north of LBL. Just my condo was 2 minutes from LBL. I could get in the van, and in 2 minutes I'm driving across the bridge into LBL. Just across where my condo was at, there were deer all over the place. I saw multiple deer while I was there. I saw raccoons. I saw squirrels. I saw all kinds of animal life. There were raccoons going through the trash near the condo. There was animals all over the place. But you cross that bridge into the canal, nothing. Not even animals dead on the road. No roadkill. Nothing.
So So going back, take a raccoon trap with you, trap one little bash, and set him loose in the north end.
Watch him head for the bridge.
Yeah, that's what starts heading for the bridge. think that's a sign.
Probably. You know, if he immediately dives in the water and starts swimming for the opposite shore, that's not a good sign. Wissa says, later this summer, I'm hoping to make it to the Red Guy's location, see if he's still alive. I'll let you know what I find out. Awesome. Please do. I'd love to hear about it. Denise says, wasn't willing to do that to my neck. Well, I don't blame you. Yeah, if it's on a neck, I'd let a doctor handle it, but I'm kind of a lunkhead. Ask my wife. I do stupid crap like that. RJ says, Awissa, please keep sharing with us if you would. Wissa says he was about 6'4" when I met him. Now sitting down, he's about 5'5" or so, scraping. He was about 6'4" when I met him. Now sitting down, he's about 5'5", so scraping 11 feet-ish. Oh, okay, I get it. Okay. I doing the math though. Sorry, I was having trouble envisioning that. About 11 feet. That's a big fella. Archie says no one blames you for that, Denise. Denise says, so we haven't heard any coyotes in several weeks. They're thick as thieves around here and not a peep out of them since June or early July. Kind of scary. They may have followed the game out of the area. If you're still seeing plenty of deer and other things in the area, the coyotes probably aren't far, unless something drove the coyotes out. There's a lot of stories that talk about Bigfoots and coyotes not getting along. About Bigfoots just wading into packs of coyotes and laying waste to them. Don't know how much truth is that. I've read a few accounts of that. So I would until I find enough where I can establish a pattern, I would say that's just a side account. I've read more than one account of it, but I've also read a few accounts of Bigfoots keeping coyotes kind of as pets, which is weird. So I don't know. It just depends on whether or not I guess they were competing for the same food sources. But I don't have enough accounts to really establish that as a pattern one way or the other. But it could be something as simple as the coyotes just left the area following game. Or it could also be something that would be a bigger predator in the area pushed them out.
Not good. Not good.
Yeah, coyotes generally, being little pains in the ass, aren't really afraid of much. They'll run from it, but then they'll circle back. I mean, they're little monsters, and they will decimate like the newborn calves and small animals on a farm. They're horrible on livestock.
Oh yeah, you've seen Mark's pictures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
I don't see how that damn dude manages. But then again, he's self-employed, so
true. So far, I've gotten one response on the 4 people I'm sending the stickers to. If you haven't sent me your address, go ahead and send it to me through my email, I suppose. Oh, I got Sal's. Okay, so I've got I've got all 4 of them. Never mind. I just hadn't checked my email in a bit. All right, I got everybody's sticker information. I'll get those emailed out. Not emailed. I'll get those mailed out in the next couple of days. Mail won't go anywhere tomorrow because it's Sunday, so I'll try to get those out Monday or Tuesday. Might throw something else in too, depending on what I've got left of the other stuff. So maybe there might be a surprise in there. Thank you guys for jumping in there on that. I'll get those out to you. Alyssa says, thank you guys for letting me share what I've experienced. You're welcome to share anytime. We love having you on. Maybe sometime if you'd like, you'd be welcome to join us on the air and tell us some stories. We'd love to hear those. Denise says, deer and rabbits are everywhere. Well, then you've got another predator in the area if the coyotes are quiet. RJ says, every animal pretty much leaves the valley I live in. I'm at 6,000 feet. We've been getting snow for a few days from 9,000 and up. So soon everything will be back down soon enough. And the predators too. You have wolves in your area too, don't you, RJ? Meg Mills says you have patches of the Wild Hunting store. No, I do not yet. Those are in progress. I've got the artwork sent to the people that are gonna make the patches. I haven't heard back from them. As soon as I do, I want to try to as many of them as ordered in as I can. And then those will probably be a direct sale through the website because they won't be on the Teespring store. They'll be me getting them through another source. So hopefully I'll have those soon. I will check back with, I'll send them another email probably tonight or tomorrow following up because I haven't heard back from them. So hopefully we'll be able to get those patches done soon because I'm using the same guy that does the patches for Dark Angel Medical, and he does a really good job. So hopefully the Dark Angel Medical patches that I got from Carrie Davis are the only patches I've ever had stolen off of my gear. I don't know what it is. I mean, I've had other patches on there, like Zombie Hunter and crap like that. Those didn't get stolen. The Dark Angel Medical, every time. If I left my backpack or my plate carrier in a public spot, and it was other cops, some other cops ripped it off. It wasn't like it was out where the general public could get to it. It was like in a locker room and crap. I'd come in like, all right, which one of you assholes stole my patch?
You know what you should have done, DA?
What's that?
I don't know how the patch looked, but take you a bright Sharpie color and go around the edge of it.
They're round patches. They're that vinyl, the flexible kind of rubberized vinyl. And some of them are subdued. Some of them are black and other colors, but they're pretty cool patches. I am going to do another giveaway here in the very near future. I've got a couple of these, which are the Scallywag tactical patches I'll be giving away. And I've got a couple of hats. So be watching for those. Those will be going out here before too terribly long. What's that? The
captain hooked you up?
Yeah, give me some patches and stuff. He also gave me something that I'm not giving away. I'm going to be starting a weekly segment called DA Reviews. And he gave me this. It's the Scallywag Guardian. So I'll be doing reviews on some of the knives and some of the gear from Dark Angel Medical. So watch for those coming soon. I'd planned on having DA reviews up and running long before now, but I just had so much crap on my plate I haven't gotten it done. But now that I've got a better mount for my camera and got my lapel mic so I can actually be more than 2 feet from the camera and you hear me, I'm going to be doing a lot more videos. So that'll probably go on the YouTube channel and I might show them on here. They're just going to be short videos, 3 or 4 minutes, where I basically just talk about whatever the piece of equipment is and the functionality and how much I like it.
Did he hook you up with a flag too?
No, I'm going to have to ask him for one of those. RJ says lots of wolves, grizzly, a lot of everything. I wish I lived up in Wyoming. I really do. Awissa says, I heard a coyote Bigfoot fight 2 years ago, middle of the night, sounded like dogs after a young one. Mom screamed and dad roared. All hell broke loose. Sounded like dogs being ripped apart about a mile. Yeah, I've heard accounts of Bigfoot not really caring for coyotes in the area. So to me, that's kind of confirmation of it. If the Bigfoot were ripping them apart, I'd say they don't really care for the coyotes. Starting to get a little tired, even with drinking coffee.
We pushed the 3.5 hour mark, and we'll go ahead and start getting the infomercials for wrap up.
Yeah. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. It's always a great time when everybody's involved. You guys are the best. You ask awesome questions. There's a lot of great information from the chat. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys. Got a couple more comments. Ronald says, what's the loadout for next time you go back to the LBL? What's the loadout? LBL does not allow you to carry firearms inside the park except during specific hunting seasons, and then you've got to be cleared through the Parks Department to do it. So the loadout is going to be more night vision gear and things along those lines. I want to actually find a spot and spend the night in the park, in the north end of the park. Obviously, I won't be doing that alone.
But the better question is, did they search the vehicles, DA, or are we going by honor?
Well, here's the funny thing. You mentioned the honor system. The honor system, yeah. If we blow the honor system out of the water, and I'm not suggesting this is going to happen, but I never once saw a park ranger in the north end of LBL. Not one. The only park employee I spoke to was in the visitor center, and that's kind of odd too. Did not see so much as a truck. Owissagon says about a month later, it sounded like they were hunting coyote for several days. Probably got too thick in their area and we're running off the game. Okay. RJ says, DA, what's the bar that's appearing on the screen? I can't read it. The one in the middle of the screen or the one scrolling across the bottom?
Might be talking about the screen break between me and you.
Yeah. Denise says, have a great night. Meg Mill says, head far. Sorry, we'll be driving without chat. Still hanging on to the end though. RJ says, night, Denise. Well, I'll stick around for just a minute and then answer RJ's question. If it's the one on the bottom, that's the Patreon link. It's www.patreon.com/DA Roberts author. That's to join the Patreon. If it's the one in the middle, that's something that they do on Melon that they didn't do on StreamYard. It's a stream donation bar. You can click on it, you can access it, and donate whatever you feel like donating to the stream, and that goes back into stream stuff. And that's just something that Melon tacks in that makes it available. And I'm still kind of trying to figure out how Melon works. So yeah, it says stream goal and how many hours to go to make the goal. And any of that will just go back into stream equipment and help with future streams. I do plan on making more trips to get some more videos. I'm going to be planning a trip to Hannibal, Missouri, for the dogmen sightings up in that area. Again, I want to go to Louisiana, Missouri. I'd like to go up to Tonka State Park and film up there as well. There's some really great areas around here that I want to film, so I'm going to try to make that happen in the near future. RJ, hope that answered your question.
You did say middle.
Middle. So I guess it's the stream goal. I'm not 100% sure how that works. I think if you click on it, it gives you the option. It doesn't me. It gives me the option to move it. Or actually, it doesn't even move that. It moves me and Josh. Can you click on it?
I thought it was just a page break.
It's a what?
I thought it was just a page break to denote where yours starts and mine ends. That's what I thought the thing was in the center.
That little color bar down the middle?
I think
goes
so.
up and down?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's just you're seeing around. It's the edge on my background. Here, let me show you. Oh, you're just seeing just the bare bones of that background. That's a background image that I just set up instead of having a blank image. If I go like that, you'll see more of it. See, I should have done that when it will drop the two of us. Ronald says I'm bringing a tank, a flamethrower, and some kind of machine gun. That's probably not a bad idea. I think I've now pinpointed the old campground. I got a hold of a map of the LBL park from 1982, and I've compared it to the modern map and found a campground that's in the right area that's no longer on the modern map. So I'm gonna guess that's probably it. But when we go back, I want to go directly to that spot and see if I can find it. RJ says nothing happens if I touch the goal. Might not work on the phone. Josh, hit that middle bar and see if it does anything. Click on it.
What are you talking about, DA?
Where it says stream goal. Click on that bar where it says $1. Is it showing up for you?
I don't see nothing.
Huh.
Phone.
Well, crap. Well, something else to look into on how it works. I'll see what I can figure out.
Like I said, I think he was just talking about where it was showing that little strip of the background logo. I think that's what he was going after.
No, he says nothing happens if I touch the goal. Might not work on the phone. So it was the bar he was talking about. He says that's a lot better screen, DA. You and Josh, smaller is better. Yeah, I should have done that a long time ago. Meg says my father was an airplane repairman in World War II, and he was very much into all the different types of planes. He was a small airplane pilot when I was growing up and did that as a hobby. That's awesome. I love, especially World War II aircraft. The P-51 Mustang is my favorite. Sal says just pauses the video. Crap. I'll look into that before the next stream. Hopefully we'll get that straightened out. I'm still kind of on the learning curve. So hopefully every stream we do on here will get a little bit better. Like I said, I'm still learning the ins and outs on this with Melon, and it does things just differently enough that I'm having hiccups getting it transferred over, but it will happen and we'll get it all straightened out and have everything going. Meg Mill says I brought that up because of one book where it looks like the guys go look for Adolf Hitler in a P-51 Mustang that was flown. Yeah, that's Operation Blood Eagle, the most recent of the Wild Hunt books. Yeah, I was pretty proud of that one. I did a lot of research on old planes like that. Papa Bear says I always liked the old Corsair. The one I wanted to get was the PBY Catalinas. I've always just loved those planes. That would be awesome to own one of those old PBYs. They were really cool. Well, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping things up for the night. We are at the 3 hours and 30 minutes mark. I want to thank all of you guys for joining us. And if you haven't had a chance to swing by and join the Discord, the Discord is just a community where we can communicate and talk and share ideas. And it's not limited by Facebook on where your posts get to go to. So I'm going to be doing quite a bit with the Discord community in the coming weeks. If you hadn't had a chance to swing by the Patreon community, patreon.com/DARobertsAuthor, check that out. There's a lot of perks involved with the Patreon sponsorship, and I'll be posting some unpublished short stories on there that aren't going to be anywhere else, at least not for the near future. So hopefully you guys will check that out and consider joining the Patreon community as well. Because all of that's going to go to help us with future streams and help the direction of the books, help get equipment to go do filming in other locations. It's just for us to kind of shape the future of everything we're doing. And that's my shameless plug for the night. Cody Hamilton says, hope everyone has a good night. Thank you, DA. Thank you guys. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Josh, thanks for coming out and hanging out. I want to thank Josh Jones and Neoma Finn and Steve Wildman Monrotis for joining us. You guys are awesome. Josh Jones, hope you get to feeling better, brother. And we will definitely be doing this again in the near future. I don't know if I will do a Wednesday show this week or not. I'll decide in the next couple of days whether or not I will. If you guys are interested in me doing 2 shows a week, let me know. Otherwise, I may cut it back to just doing Saturdays. But coming up next Saturday will likely be the DA version of the types of Bigfoot. And again, I'm not taking anything away from Matt Squatch. I love his program. I love his list, but mine's going to be a little bit different, and it's not going to be quite the same. And there'll be more on the list than previously. Meg says, I actually have some prints of some of the World War II airplanes. I'll take pictures of them and send them through email to you. I think you might like them. They were my dad's prints. That would be awesome. I'd love to have those. Ronald says, okay, guys, see you guys next time. Like the OV-10 Bronco. Yeah, that's a great one too. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining us. You guys are awesome. It has been a great night. Great show, everybody. Thank you guys for joining in. Thank you guys for everything. And thank you for being part of our experience. You know, I've said before, writing and by extension, the podcast, writing is a journey that we take together. And I am thrilled to death that you guys have chosen to take it with me. You guys be safe. And thank you guys for everything.
Thank you for joining us tonight on DA Ex Machina. Follow DA on social media and check out all of his work at daroberts.net. Good night, and don't forget to lock your doors.